We hope everybody has your Mega Blocks and your Rock Stars, because this week we're talking about Destiny 2.
How about Monsters?
Destiny 2, baby.
We can have the monster when we talk about It. Stephen King's It.
Yes,
that's after Destiny 2.
But we're not sponsored by anybody because we po.
So I got my little hunter here in this package. I'm just going to tear this shit apart.
Is it a captain?
It's a fallen captain.
Fallen captain.
Oh, yeah. I hate being these things. I hate them.
The hunter.
It looks bad.
With a ghost.
He's got a big chest.
Yeah, it looks really big.
Why did Bungie go with Mega Blocks? Halo has a bunch of Mega Blocks, and so does this. And it's
because Lego would never pick it up because it's a violent game.
Nerd Confessions.
Oh, help, you eat me.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Please. Hey, listen, please.
This is a very good conversation.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Nerd Confessions, our safe haven where we discuss our thoughts and opinions on everything nerdy, geeky, techie, and whatever. It's been about a week since our last confession, but before we jump right into it, we'd like to remind our listeners they can follow us on our various social media platforms. Find previous episodes and view bonus content on our website, nerdconfessions.net.
.net.
I'm William, the moderator for this episode. I'm joined today by Ellie,
Hello.
Tommy,
Hey, everybody.
and Sahil.
Sahil is in the house.
Oh
In this episode, we're going to talk about the 5 most recent nerd news topics important to us, Bungie's latest grind, Destiny 2, and the movie adaptation of Stephen King's It, 2017. I don't think it's had an actual movie, just the miniseries, right?
Yeah.
I suppose.
Is it IT or it?
It's
IT.
It.
Oh, okay.
There's
Information
both
technology.
There's two,
It's
two
like the thing.
capitalized
I think that one's like an Apple
letters is IT.
Stick around until the end of the episode if you want to hear some of our listeners' confessions. If you want to send us a confession, you can email us at contact@confessions.net or send us a tweet. So for starters, let's talk about what we did this week. So Hill, what did you do this week?
All right. This week, I played Unknown Player Battlegrounds. It's a game that's kind of based off of Arma, and it's in early release on Steam and PlayStation. You can play it, and also on Xbox that you can play it.
I heard that it's good.
It's really fun. It's kind of weird, like the idea. It's kind of like Battle Royale, the movie. You watch Battle Royale?
I love Battle Royale.
So it's Battle Royale.
I haven't
but in
watched
game.
the movie, but I played the manga. I read the manga.
So it's just like Battle Royale, but think about it this way: you're like dropped off on an island, and then you have to you basically pick up weapons and stuff, and then they limit the island to a certain coordinate.
Hunger Games.
Yeah, or Hunger Games, but then they also blow up parts of that area, so you have to fight your way through it. So you run into people and they have like machine guns, and you're like, oh shoot, I gotta kill these guys.
This is like a whole game that you're playing, so you only have like a certain length of time when you're dropped in.
So you jump out of like a cargo, like a
How long
Hercules.
can the games go on?
Oh,
Is
it
there
doesn't go
anything
that
to
long
make
because it keeps dropping the size of the map.
Oh.
So then if you're outside of that circle, you start to die. So it says you have to get into these coordinates in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So then you have to get into it. And then everyone starts going in there. And you're like, holy crap. And then it gets really tight. And there's only going to be one person left.
I mean, I saw lots of stuff about Battlegrounds during the Xbox Microsoft presentation at E3. But they never said anything about it, just that they're getting exclusive stuff and all this. So I was like, okay, well.
It's kind of cool because you go into there's like empty buildings. And you go into them. There's like guns everywhere. So you pick them up. So I got in the car and I just drove off into the sunset. And I killed like 2 people. And I was really lucky. And then after that, I died because I was outside of the circle. I died. I don't know how.
Do you think it's karma?
You're supposed to kill people. That's the game.
I'm just saying, you know.
He was new. He didn't know.
I didn't even know how to get there fast enough. My car ran out of gas.
So you opted to run people over?
No,
Do you think
I
that would
shot
have
people.
hindered you?
No, I shot people.
Oh, so now you shot people.
Yeah, I don't
which,
care.
which is it? So
If you in my house, I told him I shot him. What are you talking about?
you say you ran him over first.
No, I didn't. I said I drove my car. I shot people, and I drove a car, and then ran out of gas, and I was outside the circle, and then all of a sudden, nowhere I died. So it is what it is. It's actually really fun. It's not a game that you can play all by. It's fun to play with other people. It's not really fun to be alone, but it would be really fun to play with other people.
It's never fun to be alone.
What platform are you playing it on?
PC. It's $24 on PC.
I'll buy it.
But it's fun.
I'll buy it. Let's play it.
Okay.
Oh my!
And
Then
then
you won't be alone.
yeah, it's actually fun. Splatoon 2, I'm playing that again because I need to finish the storyline. I feel bad. Destiny 2, I started playing that with Will, and I'm going to play with Ellie when she gets to it.
Yeah,
But,
tomorrow. It's going down
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow. I want to beat the Nightfall, but right now I think I'm level 252 or some shit. 252.
I'm 105.
Ooh.
That's more than enough to beat Nightfall. I beat it with somebody who has 240. So
Yeah, so 252 now. I watched Game of Thrones season 5, and I am in Game of Thrones season 6.5. So I'm almost at
6.5.
7. Yeah, I watched 6. I'm almost halfway through 6. And I also ripped off half of my toe nail.
what?
Yes.
How?
I was clipping my toenail, and I clipped too much, and then I decided.
Were you drunk?
No, I was on the toilet.
Sorry.
I was on
You were in
the
the middle of a big poop?
No. I was just sitting on it. 'cause I
How would you
clipped
be
my
that
nail.
distracted that you?
Did
I
you
know.
lift
I
it?
missed, and I clipped it like 2 in, and I was like, "Oh shit!" So I just pulled on it. You know how you sometimes you pull on your nail,
Oh, shut
and I
up.
ripped off half my toenail.
Oh, God.
So right
kinda
now,
cool.
I
it's,
bet that feels really weird right now.
it really feels weird. It's wrapped in a Band-Aid.
That helps.
Did I kick it accidentally? The bad one?
Yeah, that's why I pulled it away.
Oh, I'm
It's
sorry.
okay. I can show you my toe if you want.
No, that's okay.
You don't want to see it?
I don't want to see.
I hate toes.
Show me later.
I was like, I did it last night, and my wife was in the bedroom, and she's like, "Where are you going downstairs?" I was like, and I went downstairs, and she's like, "Why do you have toilet paper wrapped around your toe?" And I came back with like 3 Band-Aids around it. And she's like, "What's wrong with your toe?" It was me ripping my toenail off. Anyway, that's all I did this week. I'll leave
All
it up to
right.
you.
So Tommy, what did you do?
Caught up on some shows. I finished the season finale for the show Power and watched a bit of Suits.
Power. That is that. Wasn't that? Or is it Powers? Oh, his toe. Oh, the Band-Aid toe.
Oh, you just had to show it.
At least it doesn't smell. All right. So Powers. Wasn't that like a PlayStation exclusive show with the guy from? Am I thinking about the wrong thing?
It's
the
the one-
guy from District 9.
It's the no Power is the 50 Cent show.
Oh,
It's actually really good. It's like a
It's
it's like a modern day Game of Thrones kind of
It's
feel.
basically like a game moot show where 50 Cent plays video games and he gives
No,
people
that's
50
not
cents.
that's not what it is.
Oh,
It's
gives people
it's a
50
good
cents?
show. Just check it out. I also still watching Hero Academia, and ironically, there wasn't a Dragon Ball episode this week. I was kind of surprised.
that's sad.
is it off?
Played a bit of Ark. Played a little bit of what's it called? Mario Kart on the Switch.
Oh wow.
And we recently went to a Japanese arcade, which I've never been to before.
You never
Round
been there?
one.
Round one. I've never been there before.
Isn't it awesome?
It was pretty cool. I've never
Yeah.
seen. I was just looking at the first. I spent like a good half hour just looking at things. I was like, damn, everything's so different.
The best part though is the Japanese photo booths, is it not?
It's okay. It's not for me. It wasn't that amazing. I liked seeing like all the crazy game styles they
Yeah.
had. That was cooler for me.
They actually had more games there than they usually do. I don't know what happened. They like
There's a lot of
reorganized everything. They had a lot of machines. I don't know
We
why.
played Space Invader.
There was so many like
that-
there.
extreme
I
one.
didn't know they were huge fans of those like little arm things that go down and grab stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know
crane
what they're called.
games?
Yeah.
Crane style games.
There
There was
was
so
one
one time
many.
Soha and I won like 3 plush animals. In
There was one
day.
time when Will shook the machine so hard.
Hey,
that we
you
didn't
did
know.
it with me, so shut up.
Yes, I did do
And
it.
what happened?
We got a plush.
We got like
Wait,
3 of
Will-
them.
what did Will do?
Because we got angry because we were trying it and the claw didn't grab. And we were like, this is annoying.
we-
And we didn't want to grab it. We were trying to push it. And it still didn't push it. So we got really angry and then we just shook the machine and got 3 plushes.
I know. I heard that in a lot of those machines now, if you like try to push it, like an alarm goes off.
These don't. You know
maybe
why?
maybe
Because-
now. It was actually kind of dead that day in round 1, so we were able to get away with
You know
it.
why they don't? Because people aren't strong enough.
Okay.
That's so sad.
Why are we whispering?
Because I'm afraid of the police.
Tommy, what else did you do?
That's it actually.
Oh, Ellie, what did you do this week?
Other than that, too, like what he said in that last
The round one
The round uno.
was Japanese.
Yeah,
photo
we
booths?
did Japanese barbecue before that. We
Uh-huh.
ate too much. We
Oh
ate
yeah,
Way
that
too
was
much.
that was good. That was some good eating.
too much.
But nobody
All you
felt
can
sick,
eat.
right?
No.
Yeah, see? It's good.
Well, there was
true.
I was a little bit queasy. No, okay, I was good.
Like I felt like it's just uncomfortable full. Like I'm just like waddling.
That's what I
along.
was doing for all the night. I was
Yeah.
waddling
So
around.
it was
is
better after I watched a movie.
Well, we
No,
watched the
better.
movie. It felt worse just sitting there.
For me, it felt better because
Oh.
it went to my intestines.
Oh,
The
okay.
best part.
There were some comfy, reclining seats. When for the movie we watched was Star Trek, Wrath of Khan, and that was fun.
On the
we
big
watched
screen,
that.
right?
On the big, huge screen for the anniversary. What was it? The twin.
It was for the Blu-ray release of the 25th anniversary. I
25th
think.
anniversary.
I think so.
Yeah, so that's one thing I did too. And then I saw a movie It or IT with that clown. Oh my gosh, we'll talk about this one.
Yes.
I'm not gonna say much about that. And then I played, of course, Breath of the Wild. Still not done exploring.
Wouldn't be LA.
I found
it
another
wasn't Breath of the
shrine. I was
Wild.
surprised. I thought I had them all.
You found what?
Another shrine.
Oh
I
my
thought I had
goodness.
them all.
I think you're gonna win like
If
a
you- if you
record
had
for like
them
the
all-
longest like.
I haven't beat the main story yet.
No, I'm
Like,
just
I
saying for
haven't
like
done
person who's
anything.
like played the game and hasn't done the main story.
So Ellie, let me ask you, after you got the shrine, did you get an invitation to go find like an armor piece from the people that are in the shrines? Yes or no?
No.
Then you don't have the last shrine.
Oh, I guess not.
Damn.
Booyaka shot.
Thanks.
We'll just crush
Oh,
your dreams and like accomplishments and hopes.
Right? Like he's just feels.
just
I'm
like-
just trying to help
You're like,
you.
"Ah,
to
yeah, I
understand."
finally
More
found the last
Oh,
shrine.
I have
and he's
one
like, is
more
it this?
I have
Then you don't
some more
know.
shrines I have to find. You should be happy about that.
I guess, but geez,
More to
the way
find.
you word it, man.
Oh, sorry.
And I played Mario Kart again today, online with a friend, and you know what? It still disconnects a lot.
Stupid.
It's really stupid.
Stupid game.
They better get this in order before they start charging for that internet connection.
Yeah.
Like, it was just kind of like it was starting up, and then it's like lost connection. I'm like, oh, stupid. But then once it connected, it was good. And then I started playing Destiny 2.
Woo!
And I tried Korean pizza for the first time.
Lots of potatoes.
Pizza
How was
love
that?
A lot of potato in it.
They should call it
Sweet
potato
potato.
pizza.
It was like instead of cheese, like stuffed crust, it's like sweet potato stuffed crust
With sliced potatoes on the actual pizza.
That sounds
Yeah.
good.
and corn.
Have you ever had corn cheese before?
That's what
Oh
we
yeah,
had.
we
some
had corn cheese.
Corn cheese is the bomb.
It's pretty good, but I mean, it's literally just corn with cheese.
That's what did you think about
I
corn
don't know.
cheese?
Like maybe I thought maybe it had like a secret ingredient in it.
When I first heard about it, though, I thought it was literally they milked the corn and they got corn milk and they
Yeah,
turned it into
see?
cheese. And
Like,
I
I
thought that
couldn't
was
think
what I
that.
thought
I
it
think
was.
that's possible. I don't
Yeah.
think
They
that's
have corn
possible.
Why
milk.
wouldn't they be?
They call it milk and corn. They have it.
And
but
I
don't know
when they first said corn cheese, I immediately thought of an elote, like
A what?
Elote, like street
A
corn.
latte?
elote.
And
Street corn.
You want to say it American wise? Like someone that doesn't know how to speak Spanish? Elote.
Elote.
the
elope?
the Korean people we were there with and myself were both looking at Ellie saying, no, it's nothing like street corn. It's not on the cob. And she's like, oh, but you can take it off the cob. I was like, yes, you can take it off the cob, but then it's not the street corn anymore, right?
Yeah, I know. There's
my
places that
God.
they'll serve like this, like if you
So
want it on the
technical.
freaking cob, you can, or they'll slice it off the cob and then do the same ingredients.
If you
on
want the
top.
good elote, you're going to get it from your tío. He's going to make it for you at the cart.
Yeah, Dio.
I don't trust any street food.
Or just go to a
vendors.
friend that has an apartment that has the elotero man that goes around with the shaved ice and
Like
you know where to
Encore's
go.
house. Encore has that. Encore has
Be
it.
their friend. They'll stop in
The
front.
tamale lady and the elote guy come by every night.
Oh,
You know
my
who I do
goodness.
trust? The guy who pushes the ice cream cart in the park.
Okay.
Isn't that the rapist?
He's like ding ding. No,
Well,
that's the guy
anyways.
with the van.
Isn't that the guy? Isn't that the guy that?
No, how hard it would be to from all the way in the middle of the park, ching ching, running all the way back to his van,
they put
pushing a cart.
roofies in the ice cream and then they
They
just follow
shove you
him
in the
around.
icebox.
They
Get
follow,
out of
they
here.
follow him around
Isn't
with
that
the cart, and then as soon, wherever they fall down,
That's
that's
the
where
one.
it happens.
Isn't he the one that would like tell you to like grab the popsicle at the far end of the box, but it was actually his penis inside the?
I don't know what park you've been to, but
Oh.
that's not what happened to us.
Ellie, is that all you did this week?
Yeah, and then I'm just preparing for a concert at the end of this week.
Concert?
Concert
Yeah.
of who?
Well, where are you going?
I'm gonna go see Green Day.
Are they still just singing American Idiot?
Stop! No,
wanna
Pretty much.
American.
don't sing.
Isn't that like a high school band? Just kidding.
Stop!
I actually really liked them when I was younger.
I got a general admission, so I'm gonna be in the pit. Wish me luck.
That's the best part. You
Don't
gotta
get
you
raped
gotta
or
mod.
molested.
You gotta watch
Gotta
them.
be there early so I can get the front.
You gotta watch them when
ish.
September ends.
Anyway,
See what I did there?
That's all I did, and that's what all I'm doing this
So
week.
as for me,
Oh, yeah, what'd you do, Will?
I watched Star Trek 2 Wrath of Khan on the big
What?
screen.
yeah, huh?
I played Mass Effect 2 and I got the platinum this
Surprise,
time.
surprise.
Well, sorry, not Mass Effect 2. I'm crazy. Mass Effect Andromeda.
You got the
Surprise.
platinum.
And I got the
surprise.
platinum for that. Yeah, I was almost close. Like last week, it
How
was
many
close.
platinums do you have now?
33.
Jesus
32?
Christ!
No, 33. I played Destiny 2. I have one of my
Surprise,
characters
surprise.
up to power 275.
How am I not surprised?
I'm working on leveling up some of the other characters. I finished season 6 of Game of Thrones.
Good job.
So ready to start season 7.
Yeah, you get into the hot seat now,
Hot seat.
You'll see.
Okay. And then I also played Mario Rabbids a little bit more
Guácatelas.
on the toilet.
On
Nice.
the
Because that's-
toilet. Where the only
that's where you
appropriate
play
place to...
To play that damn game, flush
where
it
you
all
play
down
it.
the drain.
And I was kind of wrong when
What?
we were talking before. There are kind of bosses, but they're just stronger versions of the
The
things
only
that walk
boss in
around.
that game is your focus and ability to keep playing. That's the boss you have to defeat.
No.
All right, cool.
So with that, let's get right to the news.
Guardian down.
So first news story for this week. LA Noire is getting a remaster on all modern platforms.
Yay! I
so
get to
you
play
would-
on the Switch.
So you know that would mean PS4 and you know that would mean Xbox, but it also means Nintendo Switch.
That's what I said.
Yes, and it's also getting a VR version for the HTC Vive, which I think is pretty cool.
Who cares?
What do you mean who cares?
I'm just kidding. That's cool. You get to walk around with VR in Old Town, LA.
I never played it. What is this game like?
So this was like
Gangsters.
this was a really well done game for facial
PS3.
animation. So what
I
they
see
did,
it's made by Rockstar, so is it like GTA style?
no, well, kind of.
It's like GTA, but not. It
It's
wasn't focused. on
It's a mystery solving game.
That. Yeah.
So
It was about
the
facials.
main thing about it was they had really crazy facial capture. So it's like you're actually watching somebody talk. It's like they've got every like
So it's like a
detail of the
movie.
face.
It was it was basically real actors in.
It's a
the
mix.
game.
So you have
Yeah.
this, and then you have the actual like open
So
world.
is it
GTA
like
part.
those? What was that thing with the Batman thing we did?
I don't know.
Where we
if
made
you could-
choices and stuff.
No. It's not like that.
It's
think
not like
about
that
think
at
about
all.
like GTA, but instead of GTA, like where you had cutscenes, the cutscenes were a really intermingling of actors, and you were controlling that action.
So like God of War, the new one.
No,
the
stop
trailer.
comparing it to things. It's
I
similar.
wanna understand.
The open world part is similar to GTA. Then there the cutscenes, like Sohail was saying, are very interactive. So you could compare it to.
Like God of War is interactive cutscenes that we saw in the trailer for the new one coming out.
They're much
I
more.
couldn't even tell.
They're much more interactive than that because you have to solve
Even
a mystery.
but imagine this: me and you were having a conversation in the cutscene. Like I'm the character.
then you have to
and
say
you're-
it. You have to look at your face, and just by your facial expression and the way you answered the question that you chose to ask, if he's lying or not. And then if you chose incorrectly, you didn't solve the mystery correctly because you are supposed to.
So this is like Clue.
No, it's not like Clue.
It's basically a murder mystery. Think of it that way.
So it's like Clue.
Murder.
Okay, like Clue.
It's if GTA were a murder mystery game.
Okay.
It's not like Clue, but I get what you're saying.
So it's a Clue GTA.
But anyway, it's going to have a VR version, what I think I'm very excited for. To
And a
see
Switch version.
How they would do that. And the Switch version. So I'm going to end up buying 3 copies of this game. One for PlayStation 4 Pro, one for Nintendo Switch because I want it on the go, and one on the VR. So that kind of sucks.
Ooh,
but at the same
yeah.
time, whatever.
You gotta buy 3 copies?
Don't buy it for the PlayStation Pro. Just
Yeah.
buy it for your VR and buy it for the Switch. And then
That's
yeah.
what I said.
But
you
I want
already
to see
had
it.
it for
I want to see it
PS3.
looking great.
You will on your
It'll
VR.
it'll look its greatest
Your VR will
in
look
the
great.
like.
He just wants to
original
see-
form
Yeah,
on
please help me
PS4
convince
Pro.
him not
You
to
wanna-
buy too many copies.
You want to know
of
why
this
he wants to
game.
buy it, and I'll tell you why. It's
Chicken.
because you can see like the
No,
fibers
no,
twitch.
no. The real
and so he'll
reason-
know who's
no,
lying
Tommy.
and who's not
The
lying.
real reason he wants it on the PlayStation Pro is so he can get the platinum. We all know.
Oh shit! You can have a
Truth revealed. Next news topic.
platinum hunter. That's what you are. You're a goddamn platinum hunter.
Guardian down.
Spotify and Hulu have just announced they are teaming up to make a package deal for students. So
Yeah,
Spotify's student plan is going to be $4.99 monthly. So that basically means that you're getting Hulu in for free on top of Spotify.
which is a good deal.
Is that for everybody or just
College
college
students.
So how do you
You prove it by you logging into your student portal, and then it probably
Oh,
works.
damn
that way.
it.
I really think this means that Hulu's getting desperate because they lost like half of their shows from. Well, they lost all their shows from CW, which was a pretty much big majority of what the content they had
Plus,
available.
Prime is doing well, and Netflix is doing well. So, I mean, hell, I had Hulu. I got pissed. You know what made me mad about Hulu is because they only put like the freaking frequent most season, and you can't watch anything before that.
I agree, it's a pain in the butt.
And some of the season is not even on there. Like you'll miss like the beginning 2 or 3 episodes, and then there's like a fucking 1,000 ads and shit. Even if you buy it, hate it. Down with Hulu. Burn it all to the ground.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying. So next news topic:
Guardian down.
Lucasfilm and Colin Trevorrow have mutually chosen to part ways on Star Wars.
What? Another firing?
So this has kind of been a rumor thing, and then there's actually a statement about it, and this is the statement that Lucasfilm made on this. So Colin has been a wonderful collaborator throughout the development of the process, but we have all come to a conclusion that our visions for the project differ. We wish Colin the best, and we'll be sharing more information on the film soon.
That's cool.
What?
You didn't change the
story
titles.
type.
Oh, story. Yeah,
It's like,
change it.
There's a butt.
Oops. Next news topic.
Guardian down.
Last weekend, the creator of Wolverine, Lane Wayne, has died
How old was he?
at the age of 69.
That's sad.
Very sad. Wolverine is the character that he's most well known for, but is responsible for a lot of other characters as well. So that's kind of sad. 69's not old. How old
So
is
he died on the same year Logan came out?
That's so sad.
That is sad.
Oh
At least
my
it wasn't
How
like that
appropriate.
much closer.
Really close. That's sad though. But anyway, that's not a bad thing. But it's
Wolverine's
okay.
like one of my favorite ones.
I like it.
So next news topic.
Guardian down.
So Nintendo wants everybody to know and urges everybody not to pay the scalper price of $80 or more for the SNES Classic, and that you should just be content with not having one, even though you really want one, and they're making a limited quantity because they're little bitches.
I think what's going to happen is they're going to be smart and decide to release more.
I don't know if that'll
I think they're
happen.
gonna do it for Christmas.
It's Nintendo.
Yeah, but Nintendo might be saying, you know what, these are actually making us a shit ton of money. Might as well make a lot.
Maybe.
You
I mean,
think? You think they're doing this just because people are reselling it for a higher price?
No, it's because the people that really want it are not buying it. They're not able to get it, and then resellers are buying like 6 at a time, and they're just sitting on them and trying to sell them for $200.
Yeah, so
Which I
just
think-
said.
No.
well,
no.
what's interesting about this one is it has Star Fox 2 on there,
Which
which
is
is
never
never
released,
released.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting, and maybe they will make more because of that, because this is
I
right now
remember
the only
Star
way you
Fox.
can get that.
I really hope that Nintendo is nice to their fans because a lot of people really want this, and I feel bad when people like kids that could get this. Original price is $80, right? Or am I wrong?
I'm not even sure. Well, we can check here. Well, they said no more than $80. I'd assume it's regular price.
$79.99.
Yeah, $79.99.
So I think that people like I've been seeing them for $250, $350 on eBay, and I think it's really sad for a kid that may not have a lot of money that really wants to play the games that maybe his dad was playing. You know, young kid, maybe like 5, 6, 7 years old that wants to try the same games his dad did, but his dad has to shell out $250 because some scalper is selling it. I think it's America. It's just how it is, but I feel sad for that because Nintendo should make a bunch of them. I think it's wrong for them not to, but it is what it is. Fizame, if you're watching this, please make more.
Please, Fizame.
Por favor.
Please. I'd buy one.
I'd buy it if you're robot Fizame.
I'd buy one if
Por
I could just
favor.
walk in a store and buy it and not have to worry about it.
I won't buy it, but I'll look at theirs.
Because you have one already. Why would you buy it?
Por-
Ta-da!
But that doesn't have Star Fox 2 on it.
Yeah,
It doesn't. I remember playing the first one. That was actually pretty fun.
Por favor.
Topic of the week.
Guardian down.
All right, I have a story about Destiny 2.
What
If you're willing to
story?
Listen to it. So, when you're on the tower for Destiny 2, there's a ball.
I heard
And-
this
and
story.
so there's a ball,
Good
and you want to move the ball for one side to a certain area to get the traveler ball. Well, I didn't really know what was going on, and I saw this guy playing with a ball, and I want to play with it too while he was transporting it, and I kicked it off a bridge on accident. He got very angry, For you children out there that are under 13, please cover your ears. Under 18. But this is what he sent me after I did it.
You need to fuck off, dude. I'm trying to get the Traveler Ball out. When I get it out, you can play with that when you faggot fuck.
So
Damn. God damn.
so he sent that to me
as a voice message on PSN.
Yeah, but as a voice message on PSN. But guess what I did? So he got the Traveler Ball out, and I decided that I was going to throw it off the bridge. I threw it off the bridge almost 5 times. And then he got really angry, and he sent me this.
I know you and your 2 stupid little friends are in a fucking chat, you little cunts. But it'd be really cool if you'd stop messing with the ball so I can pull the speaker out, you fucking faggot.
So we didn't stop. We didn't stop throwing the ball off because he was calling me bad words. So he ended up leaving the tower, and it was very sad. So anyway,
Should report him.
I did. And the only thing
I don't think you should report him. I think
I reported
it's hilarious that he did that, and we should
funny.
encourage people like that.
I think it's funny, but I think
it's hilarious.
I'm okay with him calling bad words. I'm not okay with the words he used.
No, I'm not.
I'm not okay with the 2 words he used at the end. I don't care him saying you idiot or you F word or you whatever, but he called me an FAGG, and I don't like being called.
Yeah, that is inappropriate.
I don't like being called. I don't like. That's not a right word. I don't like being called.
Yeah, that's like the equivalent. To me, that's the equivalent of the N word.
Yeah, so I don't like being called that. So I don't like anyone being called that. So I think that you should.
Yeah.
I reported him for that word alone.
But it's just like put yourself in like if you were a child.
But
sending that to a child would not.
Yeah.
Be
What happens if I was 13?
Exactly.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter. And you on the PlayStation box it says if you're on online we can't control what's happening. So whatever.
That's true.
But one thing I was really annoyed with is that I invited him to our party chat so I could talk to him like a man, but he decided not to come because he was a pansy.
Oh, actually, now that actually
I was excited
reminds
to
me-
talk to him.
Huh?
I was excited to talk to him. I wanted to talk to him about that.
I was going to have a good conversation, but I decided not
Talk
to.
to who?
I invited this guy to our party chat, and he didn't want to come. And he just left the tower. He's like, because Jeff sent him a whole bunch of messages, like, "Hey, you should tell that guy." You should.
It's like this Soul guy's being weird right now.
Sohail's really mean.
Can I tell you a funny story that happened
Is it in
recently?
Destiny?
No, it's not involved Destiny, but it involves like a
That doesn't
kid.
sound good already.
Basically,
Jesus.
okay. So I was playing Ark,
Yeah.
obviously,
Okay.
and I'm in a big tribe, and we freaking. Somebody decided to grab this guy off the beach and give him an explosive and tell him to go blow up this other building. And so they're like, yeah, go do it. And we found out it's a little kid. He's like 13. He's like, oh, okay. And we're like, yeah, we'll give you all this and da-da-da-da-da. So he goes, he blows shit up. We're like, oh, here, take the shotgun. Kill all these animals. He's like, oh, okay. And he's like, shoots everything, kills everything, blows everything up. And then we're like, here, come with us. And then they knock him out. They drag him inside. They put handcuffs on him. And they leave him inside the base. And we're all like walking around. And you can just hear him talk. He's like, I think I'm being kidnapped. I don't know what's going on. Hello? Hello? This isn't funny. Take me out. And then like grown ass adults were like running up to him and just like calling him shit. I was like, damn, what's wrong with you guys? Like you've never seen a child
Were you
before?
part of that?
No, I was just watching. I wasn't gonna interfere with that shit. They're gonna put me in there next.
Okay, that's weird.
But,
So before we get into,
but he escaped. I was laughing so hard when he escaped.
how did he escape? Eating his own poop?
No.
Oh,
He escaped because he died because they kept hitting him and his character died and he goes, ha ha, in your face, you old farts, and he like ran off the beach and disappeared. I was laughing so hard. They're like, damn it. I'm like, that's fucking funny.
Remember that one time we found that kid in Ark, and when he was flying around with a bird with us, we just ended up like telling him to jump, and he jumped off and killed himself.
What?
Well, maybe you weren't there.
all right. Well, before we get into the meat of Destiny 2, because we're talking about Destiny 2,
Oh,
not
yeah,
Ark,
that's right.
we're going to talk about some of the origins, the development of Destiny 2.
It looks really good, actually.
The sequel of Destiny was first mentioned in November 2014, 2 months after the original release by Activision. Chief Executive Officer Eric Hirschberg, where he said, work has already begun on the future expansion packs as well as our next full game release. Based on documents of the original release schedule for Destiny, Bungie and Activision intended to release new disc-based sequels every other year until 2019, with the large downloadable expansions in between.
Yay.
Originally planned for September 2016, full sequel would actually release in 2017. The same month, video game writer Christopher Schlurf, it's kind of a weird last name,
I like the name.
who was the lead writer for Halo 4 and worked on Mass Effect Andromeda, joined Bungie in December 2016. Bungie announced that Vicarious Visions would be joining the development team along with Activision. Unlike the original, it was rumored that Destiny 2 would be also releasing on Microsoft Windows.
Uh-oh. Microsoft Windows.
Wait, Destiny 2 would be releasing on Windows?
Yeah, so it's not only on consoles, it's also on Windows.
Interesting.
Which is obviously the superior version because it's not locked at 30 frames. But anyway, they made a statement about the development of the game. They said, "We think we've made a sequel that's going to have a lot of love for our users. The cornerstone of is the cinematic story that's been a real focus with a great cast and memorable, relatable characters, coupled with some very nice ways to make the game more accessible to the casual player. Without losing anything that our core players love, we've made it more accessible to someone who just wants to have a great, more casual first-person action experience." So would you say that actually happened from what they're saying here?
Yeah.
This is probably long before they had what we see today. And like more when they had like the every other year in mind, but
Yeah, I think it's what we're seeing, but you're talking about the storyline and stuff like that. Am I correct?
yeah, well, he's saying the cinematic story became more of a focus. So yeah,
I think you can see it.
Yeah.
You could definitely versus the first one. I know the first one had a story before they released
that they took a lot of it out,
and they scrapped it. But this one, when they said they were working on it, they did work on it because this storyline actually. I don't want to break anything for anybody, but the storyline is a focus, and you get to see a lot more.
Whose gameplay is this?
As well as gameplay.
It's pretty good.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, damn, how did you find the guy?
But anyway,
Scary sometimes.
you end up having more fun playing this storyline than you did in the last one. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I think that's true. So Bungie originally stated that the player's characters and progression would carry over for future releases. However, this only turned out to be half true, right?
Yep.
Characters and progression did not carry over from Destiny expansions, but for the sequel, only players' characters' physical appearance carried over if you had reached level 20 and completed a Black Garden quest in the original. So you have to at least finish the full story of the original for that to happen.
Right, and you get your character, but they're all ugly. So just be aware.
Ellie, you made a new character. Do you think that
I deleted it.
Damn.
You made a new character, I'm saying.
I spent an hour creating a new character.
So do you think that they expanded on like the new character creation? Did a lot better than the first
I
one?
had stuff to explore in it, yeah. But then
do you remember what the first one was like? Because I remember you had like hardly any choices. You had like 4 different faces.
Yeah, I wasn't very satisfied
5
with it.
different
That's
hairstyles.
mostly the reason why I decided I wanted to make a new character. But then after reflecting upon my decisions of how I created this character, I had no connection to it, so I deleted it and played my old character.
Guardian down.
So you were playing your old character now?
Yeah.
Oh. So,
I connected with my old
so wait, you
character.
played through the intro twice?
Yes.
Okay.
This is why I'm very behind.
This is why I'm shocked that you created a new character anyway. So
for
at least
me,
you learned
who's never played Destiny before, is this actually like the whole how the gameplay is like what I'm watching now,
Yeah.
or is it just like a certain mode?
This is a certain mode. It's called
Crucible.
It's kind of like
you kill
Halo.
people.
That's what it reminds me of right now, like big time.
The main meat of the game is co-op gameplay, but there's always Crucible along with it. So
Like it's like Splatoon, right?
So-
where there's
Yes,
a lot
yes,
of it
yes.
is or Splatoon 2 where it's
You
pushing
found-
multi.
You found the thing you can relate it to.
Yes, I
so
did.
There it is.
I guess.
But
That's how my brain works, man. You gotta just accept it.
But I was gonna say that it's not really 100% that. But what the gameplay is like is there is people that hate playing the raids. And
I
they just,
hate.
and
What are
then-
the raids?
There's something in this game for everybody. If you
Yeah.
like,
Explain to those who've never played. What are raids?
If you like
in this,
I'll
if you
explain
like
in a minute.
story gameplay, okay, you have a campaign that you can play by yourself if you want to.
just like every game.
I would put this more.
But it's
to-
really long and expansive.
I would.
Oh,
if
wow.
you like co-op gameplay, all that story you can play with at least 2 other people.
like Halo,
Right.
the new ones anyway.
Yeah,
Except it's 2 other people.
It's Halo.
Well, they did it in Halo as well. The
This
recent
is
one.
basically Halo. Listen, this is Halo
with Call of Duty style.
with no.
no,
It's like Halo all the way. The Halo online play is the same kind of stuff. It's like
Same
It's got the
stuff, right?
same ideas. Like
It's
you
like
got-
if Halo met with World of Warcraft.
right.
What?
And there's 3 different types of characters because you're not going to be just a Spartan.
You get gear, you level up,
yeah.
you get better abilities.
First person World of Warcraft.
Interesting.
Yeah, so when you look at it, you're gonna have to play it like see Will is right now is in God, I forget what they're called.
I'm a hunter.
Hunter, and there's a warlock class, and then there's also a Titan class, and Titan is kind of like your guy that can take a lot of hits.
Yeah, the
more
tank.
more assault version.
Yeah, they'll have their pluses and minuses.
Yeah. And then, but he's also very, they also have
Yeah, so like Warlock's like specialty
slower-
stuff.
They don't have good jumps.
Hunter is like the all around.
The Warlock's more like summon stuff. The Hunter.
What would you summon?
But is like more of a support class.
spread.
Like you can summon a sword and hit people with a sword. You can like have a big ball that you shoot at people.
Interesting.
That's one of your specials.
Yeah.
In the original Destiny, you could revive yourself from the dead.
You can revive you and some
but you
others.
can't do that in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like
In this
okay.
one, you can create a healing.
So
whip.
yeah, you're right.
It's all
World of
about
Warcraft meets first person.
teamwork. So if I'm going to do a raid with somebody, we're going to want somebody to focus on ads, which are people in addition to the boss. Somebody to focus on the boss, maybe, and then you want the warlock to create the healing rift. So we all go
Right,
there.
just like a WoW raid.
Yeah, and then you want the Titan, which is like the heavy class or
Right.
the tank, to put up a shield to protect everybody who's in the healing rift. So it's all about teamwork. It's all about having a
kinda-
strategy
but-
together.
like it.
But
Tommy?
really, if you're gonna throw it out there, the Titan, if they're a lower level than a warlock, doesn't mean they're gonna be able to take more hits. I don't think they really built the hits to be more for just Titans.
The original Destiny, the other classes do have
more hits.
yeah,
than others,
this
but
one too, I think. But
it's
instead
not
of
so noticeable.
Oh yeah, see the guy's got like
instead of having it there be stats that you move around, it's all based off your gear.
There's a lot of
Right.
mobility that I'm seeing. There's a lot of like
Yep.
movability. It's not so like
Yeah,
linear.
you're always on the move with the game. But you didn't let me finish. So you
Oh,
have
okay.
the co-op story, okay, and
Okay.
then you have raids, and that's my favorite part because you have strikes, which is basically like a little story mission.
Do raids
compact.
help your character
Get
in
better
terms
gear?
of multiplayer stuff?
So I told you can play with 2 other players, right?
Right.
In a raid, you can play with a total of
10?
5 people,
Oh,
including you. So 6 people total.
Right.
So in that 6 people, you have to organize yourselves. You often split yourselves up into 3 teams, or there's puzzles you have to solve. Like with one, like for example, Taken King, where there's plates that you had to stand on. So you'd have to say, okay, we assign a person to a plate. You step on the plate. One, you can count like plate 1, plate 2, plate 3, plate 4. You have to do it in a certain order, and then one person who's a runner jumps on platforms, and then as soon as they get something, they climb down, slam on the boss, and then everybody meets up in the center, and then Titan creates a bubble, and then you all like go in and out of the bubble and create damage. And by doing that, they're doing optimal damage on the boss, and all that teamwork, it gives you a sense of accomplishment. At least for me, like that we all came together, we all figured this out together.
Yay.
And we went from not knowing what the hell to do, what the hell are these plates, to working as a team, actually getting this done, and then getting the good loot after, which makes our character even better, which makes it even easier for us to do as a raid in the future. So that's the part I like the most.
But what I want to know is, does that loot kind of affect your like this mode that we're watching right now,
There's gear,
or is this like generic? Is this
there's-
like a whole different level
there's
character?
No, the gear you get, you can play in any mode, so it doesn't not exclusive to any mode. By default in multiplayer, like the damage differences don't count. So you can be level 1, you can be level 20, you can have low level gear, high level gear. It's all the same.
Right.
But the different weapons, which like say there's a really good weapon, like Destiny 1, a weapon that you got from the Vault of Glass is really, really good in Crucible, but you can only get it from playing the raid. So,
but you can use it in the
you can use it in whatever mode. Yeah, Crucible.
cool.
So there's
So that makes it worth doing the raids then.
yeah, because you can get exclusive gear from the raids.
That's cool. You see, that makes it more worth it. Kind of like in analogy would be World of Warcraft, right? How you can get gear from raids and then you can actually use it in PvP and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it actually worth playing that part of the game.
Mm-hmm. The only thing is, unlike World of Warcraft, you're not just it's not.
Yeah, it's not
It-
just
it-
that. There's
it-
a lot of
It takes a
more.
lot of skill. It's more skill than it is your level of your gear.
Well, yeah, so is World of Warcraft.
Well,
don't
it's a
cut
lot.
it short.
I know it's a lot of clicking and stuff like that. With this, it's all like running around first person.
There's a lot of.
I understand what you're saying. I'm saying this maintains first person shooter
Right.
above everything else. Still
Yeah.
beyond the multiplayer aspect. So before I was trying to say is that the stuff that they promised carrying over everything turned only to physical appearance, but they did have a nice surprise for everybody.
What's that?
So what did they do?
I don't know.
What was the surprise of carrying over stuff from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2?
You got a cool intro scene, and you got to see things like what you did with your friends.
Oh yeah, that was adorable. I was like, "Aww."
Yeah, so they mentioned you have to finish the Black Garden, right? So the first thing it says, you accomplished the Black Garden. You visit the Black Garden with these people, then it lists the players that you beat the Black Garden with.
Right.
And then it shows you started this raid with
this
these people. You finished this raid with these people.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. It takes you through like your major accomplishments for the raids or the campaign story missions, and you get to remember, oh yeah, I had so many fun times when we were playing that raid, or I had so many fun times when we were playing this story mission.
It brings back the nostalgia of playing the first game,
Mhm.
but it doesn't. It's a slight.
It could have been done better, but
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to do. I thought that was cool, but it kind of was like a really cheap way of getting you to feel like your character transferred over, but it really didn't do anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
'Cause when you're-
except for physical appearance, yeah.
Yeah. And then when you start, this is my personal belief, when you started the game, you had a pretty cool looking piece of set of armor. Okay, it looked good. Then you play the game, in your first mission, you get some like garbage ass armor, and it's better than the armor you had that was amazing. It looks like homeless people.
Well, that's not
clothing.
entirely true. It takes a while to get armor that's actually better. You start out with power 100. You eventually, like, pretty close, get gear
After, like,
above 100. But it still looks
missions,
crappier than the armor
It
you
looks
started
like
the game with.
homeless clothing.
I know.
But I was just so sad. But anyway, it's a really good way to restart it. It's fresh. I think it's a good idea to start fresh for everybody, because there were people in the last game with the RNG, right? RNG, random game drop generator thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're level 131. It's better than other stuff. You look kind of homeless.
I do look homeless.
Anyway,
Looks like an assassin.
The item drop generator in the beginning of Destiny 1 wasn't fair for everybody. And some people got really amazing stuff. Like some people got 4 Galahorns, while some people got none.
Well,
Galahorns.
this is something they addressed with
Sorry.
ever since Taken King. They addressed this.
And I know they fixed it later.
So Hill got an original Destiny shotgun, shotgun, same shotgun a million times when we were doing the raid together, and he just got frustrated. He was like, I'm tired of
angry.
getting the same thing all the time. It's just based off RNG.
You know, it was not fair. Everyone else was getting really
That's how
cool
they do
shit.
it.
And then I'm looking at it and I'm like, why do I keep getting the same shotgun?
But
and then they fixed it. Then they fixed it
well,
later.
with the Taken King, what they did is they said, okay, we'll base this off what you got in the past. So if you got that shotgun in the past, you're not going to get that anymore. You're going to get this piece of equipment and then this piece of equipment until you get all those, and then you'll get that shotgun again. So they kind of fixed it so you won't be as frustrated and get the same crap over and over again. I mean,
That happened to me in WoW, actually.
You'll still get it
I kept getting the
sometimes.
same damn armor. I was getting so
Yeah.
I
angry.
always get pretty lucky and get something different.
Yeah, you'll still get
Like
the
with
same.
the ghost, remember?
You started Taken
Chocolate
King.
Ghost.
Oh yeah, you got Chocolate Ghost.
And I got the red Valentine, whatever.
Yeah, that was a cool one.
Ooh.
I got all the kind of ghosts there were.
But they fixed it. I think it's much more fair now. It doesn't feel so inadequate, because I remember there was times where people would get exotic drops like constantly while I was with them,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's people like me that got nothing, and it was sad.
You deserve nothing.
And then I was just like, I played just as good as you. Why don't I get nothing?
You want to know
Well-
you want to know why you deserve nothing? Because
Guardian down.
Okay, got it down.
Well, a lot of people would be
No.
playing
Oh.
like Crucible,
How that
and the
works.
like top player will get nothing. Bottom player, like really, really good item, and they'll be like, "I was the best player. How come I got nothing?"
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah.
And I physically remember being like, oh, I'm top player. And the top player gets a legendary item, and the bottom player got a Galahorn. Like,
yeah, yeah. So back to development. A full reveal trailer is released on March 30th, revealing the 3 class vanguards: Commander Zavala, who is a Titan, and the voice of the guy that did what did he do? He was in. What was he in? So
the guy that did Zavala. He was in a game for Microsoft. I forgot the name. You know the game for Microsoft. Quantum Break.
Mm-hmm.
He's also
With the
in
eye
The
drops.
Wire. He's also in... Shoot, he was in
That
another
one
show.
science show. I forget what it is.
Bill Nye?
Oh,
With Walternate.
He was on Fox. The show was on Fox that
Uh-huh.
you guys liked. You and Encore like a lot.
Yeah, Leonard Nimoy was on it too.
Yeah, I forgot the name.
Oh, it's
William Bell.
it's it's
It was a
Big Bang Theory.
No, it was not Big Bang Theory.
No, Big Bang.
Okay,
Theory is
so
nothing.
next one, we're just going to skip this. Cade 6, who's the hunter, and he's voiced by Nathan
What
Fillion.
the hell? Look at that
Um,
armor.
He's voiced by Nathan Fillion.
How cute.
And then we also have Ikora Ray, who's the warlock.
Looks expensive.
I don't know who the actress is for that.
They don't pay
I don't
for
know
those.
either. I know who Cade 6 is.
Spain, the gold.
So they were rallying around a war-torn tower. The Cabal are being led by Gaul, the commander of the Red Legion. And so we finally get Cabal making a big role in Destiny. The trailers confirmed that Lance Reddick, Nathan Fillion, and I guess we hear it here, Gina Torres would be reprising the roles as the Vanguard classes. Yes?
Nothing. Continue.
Okay. Nolan North also is doing the voice of the Ghost again, right?
Yes, he is. He came back, and he's a little more obnoxious this time around.
A little bit more obnoxious.
This time around.
Yes, I agree.
Oh yeah. So let me go back to it. I just remembered. I looked it up. He was in Oz. He was in The Wire. This is Lance Reddick. He was also in Fringe.
Fringe, yes. That's the show I was thinking it was just
Yeah.
Fringe.
And he always looks very similar to what he was in the other show. He's just very, very stern.
Yeah, that was like one character that he plays.
But his voice acting is kind of interesting this time around.
How so? No passion into it?
No, there's some stupid lines that made me annoyed. He's like,
Oh.
we're going to skip that now. What did you say? Anyway, go back to Ikora Ray. I'm sorry.
Well, we're talking about Nathan Fillion. Sorry, not Nathan Fillion. We're talking about Nolan North doing the Ghost again. Do you think I think he's like settled into the role. He didn't feel as natural before. I don't know if that's because we're so used to Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
he seems... I mean, he's settled in, but at the same time, I feel like his character is more annoying. Like, he kind of feels like the fairy from Ocarina of Time. Like,
A little bit.
Shut up. That's what you want to say, like, at times. Just shut up and leave me alone.
I think his voice was a little better in this one. So something that you guys will think is interesting, Ellie and Tommy. Mark Noseworthy told IGN that there were
Noseworthy?
Yeah, that's his last name. That there were no plans for a Nintendo Switch version of the game.
That's
Noseworthy went to say, I think it's pretty unrealistic given we're
It would be-
online
yeah, it would be
only
pretty
game,
hard.
right? The Switch, because it's portable, and I love my Switch. I've got Breath of the Wild here. I've got it with me. It's incredible. I love the console, but in terms of where it's at, I don't want to leave anyone with the possibility of, like, it's a thing we'll consider maybe next year. There's no plans for the Switch.
That's fine. I
I don't
care.
think it would work on the Switch anyway.
I agree.
No.
I know. I understand why they wouldn't do
the
it. and-
connectivity sucks.
well, there's that, and there's also the fact that
Sorry.
Damn.
there-
The connectivity
there's
sucks.
there's also
like
there's also the fact that with Destiny 1, the biggest weakness was the fact they not only had to make it for PS4 and Xbox One, but they also had it backwards compatible with Xbox 360 and PS3.
and that made it weak.
Yes, so that made it really hard to do anything. Actually, I heard from Digital Foundry in their latest like tech video for Destiny 2 that the game engine that Destiny 1 was based off of was almost the same engine as Halo Reach. And because of that, it was that engine is kind of priority console first, PC later, and that made it really hard for them to make new content. And that's why the move to a new engine is making them a lot easier for them to make new content like more frequently.
Right. And if you noticed, if you played the original Destiny and you're playing on the PlayStation 4, you kind of noticed that you weren't really pushing your PlayStation to a limit at all, really. And
Yeah.
when you were playing the raids, you noticed that it was like 90% of it was indoors. And you ask yourself why? Because it doesn't tax the console.
Right.
So they took it and they put it for PS3. It's based off its least common denominator, which was the PS3 and the Xbox 360. And they said, you know what? we're going to make this game be really easy to run on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. And it kind of hurt everybody else because the raids weren't so nice or weren't so pretty. But in Destiny 2, guess what? Outdoors, like 80% of the time.
Well, how much RAM does the original?
I have a question.
What?
Yeah.
Why is it that they believe all futuristic gear, whether it's Destiny, whether it's StarCraft, that they have to have enormous shoulder pads? Like, I don't understand.
It was only for the Titans because they're like warriors.
That guy right there, who's what is his name?
Zavala.
Zavala.
That guy. That guy.
That's the That's only
Dude,
for the Titan.
he
class.
straight up looks like a character from WoW. Like, not even playing. Like, with the bald head, the glowing green eyes,
Well,
the white bluish skin.
We'll take a break
The
from
fucking
talking about the
ads.
console versions and the jump up from previous gen to this gen. Just for a second for you. So the main concept of Destiny was like when they started, they had they were trying to decide: do we want to make a mystical game like World of Warcraft or like back in that day, or do we want to make a shooter like we're used to, like with Halo?
Yeah. So they went with in between, right?
So
Yeah. So they met in the middle, said we're going to have warlocks, we're going to have titans, we're going to have all these kinds of mythical things like centaurs and things like that in the game, but we're going to adapt it into like a futuristic future shooter.
Centaur?
It's kind of, I mean, it's not a bad idea. I actually kind of like it.
So what they were going for was a very, what was it called again? A basic mythological game that follows a lot of mythology. But guess what they did? They scrapped it, and they started again with something different.
That's true.
And they really scrapped the whole process because Activision, wasn't it Activision that did it for them? It wasn't
I think
Bungie.
it might have been internal. I'm not sure.
Oh, maybe.
I'm not
I
sure.
remember hearing something about Activision. I'm not sure, everyone. Don't attack us. But
I think Activision, if anything, was pushing the release date first.
yeah, and then Activision wanted a release date, but Activision also wanted to see
But they're like, we
have-
can't do it right now. But at the same time, we can't use the story because it's crap. So crap, we're just going to throw this out there. I think that's
Right.
what happened.
But people love the gameplay. Don't get me wrong. I think people
The
love
gameplay is the best part.
Yeah. But the story in the first game was utter shit.
Yeah.
And then number two, you can see the remnants of a good story. You could see the remnants of where they were trying to go with it. But Tommy, they failed, and the story was boring.
Wow.
The only thing that was fun was doing the raids with your friends because you were challenged.
Yes.
And it was like, hey,
and that's the best part.
So what about this
the
one?
puzzles?
this one has a story, and it's really good. It's not good. I mean, not really good.
Okay,
Make up your mind.
We'll get to that. So
It's
the-
great. It's not
okay.
great. Wait, it's
back
alright,
back
maybe.
to the jump between the 360 PS3 to Xbox One and PS4. So how much RAM does the 360 and the PS3 have?
It was
No,
256.
I don't know.
256?
RAM?
Wasn't it 256? I'm wrong, am I?
I think it's 2 gigs. I'm not sure.
2 gigs?
He's talking
Okay.
about RAM, not
1 gig.
hard drive.
I think it's actually one shared gig.
One shared gig.
So 500 megs, 500 megs.
So like
between
4 sticks
CPU
of 256?
between the CPU and the GPU, the
Okay.
shared. So how much does PS4 and Xbox One have?
Isn't it 4?
It's 8.
8? Sorry.
8 gigs
You
of
have
RAM.
this all memorized?
No, I remember
Yeah.
it being. I remember being.
Wow.
I remember being 2 sticks of 4. I made a mistake. Go ahead. Chicken, you guys.
All right. So that's a lot more memory that they have at their disposal. So
Right.
what we get with this game is a lot more alpha effects. That's like 2D images that are transparent. So you got a lot of flames. You have a lot more like sparks coming out of things. So that's the best part, I think, is the sparks. Every time you shoot something, tons of sparks come out of it. That's like something I enjoy the most. That's really cool about this game. Right, Sohail?
Yeah, I'm just reading specs.
Oh, the
Go
specs
ahead.
of consoles. So you do get you don't get a huge jump in the textures,
Yeah.
but you get a pretty significant jump as far as effects.
Yeah. There's a lot of effect they change. They change a lot of models too. So you
Models are a bit more complex.
Yeah.
Not a crazy amount.
but you
but
some
they're
characters you won't notice.
significantly
You're like,
more
wait,
complex.
is that what an acolyte? I don't remember.
Yeah, the
acolytes.
knights look for the
Yeah.
hive look way different.
I read online it says that there's 256 XDR RAM for the PlayStation 3, 256.
Oh, the round is 500 megs.
256, yeah, 500 megs.
Oh my god!
And then
worse than I thought.
256 GDDR3 VRAM. And they only had 500.
And then the Xbox 360 had 500 shared. That's
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so even less than I thought. That's bad.
I remember it being 256. I just remember how many sticks. But go ahead.
All right, so they announced that they would have a PC version, right? And it will support 4K native resolution with an uncapped frame rate, and it will support 21:9 monitor support. That's ultra wide. So I'm tempted to do it on PC, but at the same time, I don't have enough time to kind of play it on 2 platforms. Blizzard's Entertainment.net service is going to be the one that's hosting it. So it's Activision. So Blizzard's it makes sense for Blizzard to do that. But it's pretty cool. That'll be on Battle.net.
I mean, I think it's a cool idea, but at the same time, this game, if you buy it for a console, you really can't put, unless they let you transfer your characters, which I don't think they let you do, right? They don't let you transfer your characters from Xbox to PlayStation 4.
I'm actually not sure. I don't think so.
I don't think so
because it's not
either.
really possible.
But then if they can't, it's such an involved game, and there's so much grinding to be had that you really don't want to have multiple characters because it takes you 2-3 days to get to raid level, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not raid 2-3 days. That's 2-3 full days. I'm talking about 24-hour days. Just
Yeah.
get to raid level and
just total playtime. So a few more things before we jump into the actual content of the game, what we think about that. PS4 Pro got an enhanced version, not native 4K, but I think it's like some checkerboarding there. Then Xbox One X is also going to be native, but it's not going to be 60 frames. Xbox One X is not out yet, but that's what they're announcing that it'll be supported at. Grimoire cards
gone.
Why?
Thank God. Who was using that app? It's just like Nintendo Switch in the app.
With Taken King, they introduced that you can actually scan things in the world, and then your ghost will tell you a little bit about it. I think that's what they have replacing Grimoire cards now.
Yeah, they have it in here too. You can find it in certain like areas of the map.
Yeah, all of a sudden you hear your ghost go like make a little sound, and then you can scan something nearby.
Yeah, and it'll say, "I don't know why they did this."
Yeah. Real quick, something that is really good compared to the previous one is whenever you're out and about in like a social area or during a raid or anything like that, it's no longer peer-to-peer.
Awesome.
So you'll no longer be held back by the weakest person in your party or whoever's hosting at the time, because it's going to be on their server. So if anything, it's Destiny servers to blame.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if their servers go down, you can't play anymore.
Just like it happened to us.
Yeah, when we were playing a
couple
Nightfall.
days ago.
Yeah.
It just died.
We were all sitting there fighting the boss, and guess what happened? All of us said, disconnected from server, and then nobody can get on again.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
So Destiny 2 was released on Wednesday, September 6th, but a lot of people are able to play earlier for some reason if they got it from Amazon or Best Buy.
That
a
sucks.
physical copy. So I was sitting there like, I'm waiting on this timer on my PS4 Pro, and everybody else was like starting it. I was like, they're a little mad.
Well, I mean, it's not a big deal. I know you can start really early, but at the same time,
who cares?
You know,
I care because I want to play as soon as possible.
We know somebody that beat the storyline in 14 hours. And they didn't sleep. They just beat the game and then they went to sleep. And I thought that was really intense, and that kind of takes away the enjoyment for me.
This is somebody that hated the last game so much they sent it back to Bungie.
Yeah, they hated the game so much that they sent it back to Bungie with a letter.
This is what you get for wasting my time.
Did they really?
Really? They sent it back with a letter, and the letter said, like, you wasted my time. And they gave him he put the physical copy back in the thing and sent it to Bungie. I'm sure Bungie just sent it to GameStop or something and said, sell this.
Probably. So the PC version of the game won't be out until October 24th. PC always gets the shaft.
Yeah.
But it'll give me some time to think about if I actually want that copy.
And I think the reason they did that is because they need to make sure that all the kinks are out for PC, because people are going to find some crazy way to cheat in PC.
Yeah. So let's talk about what the month one activities are. So launch week, which was, the 6th and Tuesday, you have the Nightfall. That was pretty much like the main thing. And Flashpoint EDZ. So Flashpoint, I think, is something that they have replacing the dailies. So there's like a weekly kind of story mission thing where you get a high level reward instead of exotic shard or legendary shards. So that's kind of a nice change in pace. Week 2, we're going to get a new Nightfall. Of course, it changes every week. We're going to get Flashpoint, a different one, and then that figures, right? But we also get the launch on Wednesday, the launch of the Leviathan raid. Leviathan.
No, I forgot how to say it.
It's Leviathan.
And on Friday, will be the first appearance of Zur.
Yeah.
In a social like a one it's going to be in Tower probably. Then the next week we get a change in Nightfall. It says it's going to be a weekly thing. So there's nothing like too noteworthy. It's just going to be the same thing. On Friday we get Trials of the Nine, like we did the previous. Trials of the Nine is going to be like just a multiplayer mode. Week 4 we're going to get Nightfall, Flashpoint, and then what is this? They have some sort of weird guided
There's a
version.
thing.
I'm not sure what that is. Then Faction Rally will begin. I don't know the details on the Faction Rally, but that's something to start week 4. That's going to be Tuesday, September 26th. So that's going to be interesting, whatever Faction Rally is. The rest is the Trial of the Nine and Zur. So Trial of the Nine is basically going to be every Friday, along with Zur. Leviathan Raid, I'm most excited for. It's going to come out on Wednesday, and we're going to be playing that.
Should
I
I
think-
get this?
Yes.
It's a Destiny jacket. Destiny 2.
I think it's really
Sorry.
cool what they're doing with this game. I wasn't really a big fan of the last, not because I wasn't a fan of the last game. I just thought that the game was a lot of grind, and then all of a sudden nowhere they would update, and put a brand new gun out that like completely destroyed all your other stuff, and that made me a little angry. But this game seems to be like, since they fixed, I played before the RNG got fixed, but after this fix, it feels more even because the guns that I'm getting are really fun, and I can tell that some people are like, oh, I like that gun. That gun's kind of cool.
Okay.
They have their own guns. But
So
that's
speaking
my
of the
thing.
guns, the Pokemon counters kind of a thing kind of continues here. So you have solar damage, void damage, and arc damage, and that counters the shields of the enemies that you're fighting. So if they have a void shield, you want to use a void weapon. Arc shield, you want an arc weapon. They changed the word of light to power, which is interesting.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I like that it was light because it makes sense in the form of the story. But I think they did that to make things a little less confusing, maybe. Level loses, like your character level, it loses any relevance with enemies, and it only matters if for like restrictions of what gear you can use or what campaign missions you can play. So it's only to get to the max, and then you can actually do everything, and now we don't have to worry about
I
it.
have a Funko Pop.
Yes, I do.
But the levels really don't mean as much other than power levels mean something, but I don't know what the ratio is. In the last game, the ratios were like, if you're light level, let's say, was it 21, 22, 23? Remember that, Will? The last game?
Yeah. Well,
And then if you're level like 21 and the enemy was level 22, you can only do so much damage towards it.
yeah.
In this
Basically, it was like two things you had to worry about. So you had the level, and then you had the light. So there's two different things. It was overly complicated. Just remove the light, the level. Just worry about light.
Yeah,
Or
but
power.
not
Power
level
now it's called.
But the power level, I don't know the ratios now. So if your power level is like 160 and the enemy is 165, what is the difference?
I'm not sure. I would assume the math's very similar. If you're like one power level below, that means like you're doing half damage, or like a few levels below 5. No, I think like 5 levels below, you're doing half damage. 10 levels below, you're doing like 0 damage.
Right. So then there is a point to having your level be on
And
par
as far
to
as
mission.
being a higher level, not much of a gain. Only on bosses, really.
Well, you'll notice if they have skeletons on their heads.
Yeah. So no more missions on the map.
Yes.
So before, what they'd have is you click on a world like Earth. You go to the Earth map. You have different points on a map, and that's how you start missions. And this, they kind of
Centralized it.
go away with that. The map is actually the map. So you have to worry about, okay, so this mission starts here. I have to actually physically go there after landing in this point of the map.
And what do they do for the first 20 levels, Will?
You no longer have a sparrow.
Yeah.
You no longer, well, I think you got it pretty early in Destiny 1. You got it like after mission 3.
You got it pretty
4.
early. But then they said, you know what? We're going to take your sparrow away because we want you to pay attention to our landscapes.
Yeah, I think they wanted to artificially make the maps seem larger than they are. At least that's one of the things I'm
But
assuming.
it gives it to you, though. It does give it to you because when you're running, you're like, God, I wish I had a sparrow. And then, but the thing
It
is,
makes you appreciate that sparrow.
right. But at the same time, you have a great chance of looking at your the art, the scenery and how much time they spent on it, which is good. But anyway, I'm done with that.
You don't start out with the like we said. Subclass changes. So Titans now have void shields instead of the Titan having a Titan bubble, which I loved. I think it was my favorite ability or one of them.
I remember seeing that in the trailer.
They no longer have the bubble. Instead, you are basically Captain America.
The bubble's cooler.
You get a shield. You can throw the shield at people like Captain America, or you can run up to them and ram them.
You think they stopped it because the Halo was using a bubble?
I think they stopped it because they had different gameplay aspects in mind. What was really fun in original Destiny is you pop a bubble, and when you use your special, you drop orbs, and then other people can pick up those orbs and then use their special. And if there's enough people, you could keep it going. So if you have a team of 6 Titans, you do bubble, 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 bubble. Just like have a stream of a walk path. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think they took it away because they want to try different things in the raids.
I believe so too. They also gave you the ability to put a shield up as your kind of like a secondary ability.
Yeah, so we'll see what they're planning, and Bungie isn't stupid. I think they're trying to build like a new game dynamic.
Yeah.
So it should be fun to see what they're planning.
Yeah, so Warlocks have changes too. On Solar, instead of reviving like yourself, we mentioned this earlier, you used to be able to revive yourself. Now instead of that,
you're an attacker.
You have a sword, and you kind of use it pretty much like the Solar class of the Titans we got in the Taken King, where you have a sword. The Titan would have the hammer, and throw the hammer, but you can slice with the sword, and you can't slice with the hammer.
And you actually fly.
Oh, you can actually fly with the sword too, which is kind of cool. There's like a wing thing going on, which is pretty neat.
What is it? And you fly a little bit, and what else you can do is if you level up your character in the Solar, you can do a drop down, kind of like Smash, and it does pretty good damage. So the Warlock became more of an attacker, like a strong.
And then
attacker.
instead of having like support supers, you have a support kind of side ability, and your side ability is a healing rift or the damage rift. Yeah.
I like using the healing one more than the damage one because it seems to be a bigger help for everybody.
Yeah,
just me.
I agree. I'm sure damage will matter when we get the big bosses in the raids.
Yep.
So the other changes we have here are for the Hunter. The Hunter, basically the main change they did here is for the Arc subclass, you no longer have daggers, you have a staff, which I don't know about that change. I like my daggers, but at the same time, it's kind of cool that you have. I
really like this. Like if you see the YouTube, you'll see the scope that's being used. It's probably one of the nicest scopes I've seen in game.
All the guns are really detailed, especially exotic guns.
And you should see how many, Tommy. You should see how many gun differences they have.
Like look at that! I love that. Like just a little red dot right in the middle, and you can see clear as day what you're shooting at.
It also changes color when your ammo levels.
You have an option to buy this game.
Yeah, I might buy the PC version.
The Hunter is able to evade, so you double tap circle and it evades. That was in Taken King for the Night Stalker Void class, but they added it for all subclasses now, and that's his kind of side ability.
Yeah.
And it has added abilities with it. So you evade, you reload your gun, or you evade and you take no damage while you're evading. So it was kind of cool that you had the choice with that. So the main villain of the storyline campaign, Gaul, what did you think of him, Sohail? What did you think of him, Ellie?
I thought he was pretty cool because
he's a big guy with the mask, turtle man, big turtle man with the mask.
Turtle man.
Yes.
He was actually pretty cool. That was my
scary.
personal belief. I liked him because he reminded me a lot of
Yourself in the Morning.
No, he reminded me a lot of the guy from the first Alien remake. What was his Alien remake, Will?
I like how you're like, what
Alien Engineers.
That tank's between us and Brackus Zahn.
Okay.
Brackus Zahn, that's his name.
So that's the name of the person from the Nightfall Strike.
Yeah.
So you're talking about Gaul, and you think he's like a lot like a person from the remake of.
He looks like an engineer.
An engineer. Okay.
He looks like a giant engineer with wings.
That's a prequel. That's why I was confused. It was like remake.
The prequel. Sorry. He looks like one of the.
Well, I want to see him without the mask because if he didn't have the mask, he'd have a vagina mouth, and that's what I want to see. I want to see those vagina mouths talking to me.
What?
The cabal? The cabal have
Yes,
like
please.
really weird.
Large?
Yes,
You
that'd
guys
be
ordering
awesome.
pizza? What's going on over there?
All the Cabal guys have a weird mouth design. They're usually in the first game. You really didn't get to see their skin or any of their body parts. They're like basically armored warriors. And in this game, you get to see one without a mask, and you're like, "Holy crap, he's got a weird mouth."
Well, that's something we got to see in the original. They had a live action trailer for Destiny 1, and they had the actual face of one of the Cabal, and that's something I wanted to see in the game. But whenever you shoot them in the head and their mask comes off, their helmet comes off, you can't really see their head. In this one, you actually can when you shoot their head. You actually see their head, and you actually see it in the cutscene with animated talking face. So it was pretty cool. I was happy they did that. I just wish Gall didn't have to have that mask on all the time.
But he was pretty cool, and then his character did something really interesting after. Well, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but there's an interesting character that came out later on after you beat him. But I wanted to say that I think that might be a raid guy. Is that just me? Maybe he's gone. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I mean, the main villain. I don't think just using common sense. You look at Taken King, the main villain of the campaign was the main villain of the raid. So maybe the same thing will happen here. We're not even sure because we haven't played the raid, but we'll see. Maybe we'll have a follow-up talk about that next week.
Maybe next week we're actually going to, I think what will be really cool, Will, is if we're going to go into the raid, we're going to explain how we beat it. If we can.
That'd be interesting.
If we can.
Okay, off topic. But I'm looking at the Bungie store right now. They have this really cool Destiny 2 Razer headset.
Do you want
Gaming
it?
headset. It's $110.
Who are
It
you?
looks
and
amazing.
Why are you so rich?
You are obsessed with that thing.
Can you buy it for me?
I thought you were buying me that hoodie.
I am. You buy me this.
Oh my goodness. We'll talk later. So the Nightfall, which I actually put up on screen now, those I'm playing. There's a lot of changes to the Nightfall. So you'll notice on the bottom right-hand side of the screen, the Nightfall is a strike with much harder difficulty, but you have much better rewards for playing it. What they did with the Nightfall is compared to before, whenever it would just be really hard, and when you died, everybody had to go back to orbit. It was very frustrating. What they did here instead is you have a timer in the bottom right. The more enemies you kill, you get seconds added. And you also, on top of that, have rotating burns. So you rotate from arc to solar to void.
And that makes it fun because you always have to pay attention to the bottom right and the bottom left of your screen.
Well, you don't have to, but
Well, you have to because how do you know?
the bottom left.
Yeah.
So what this did for me is we just created teamwork. We said, call out what it is if you see it. So somebody says, it's arc. It's solar. It's void. By doing that and working together, we can know what weapon we need to switch between. But it is hard enough. They made it hard enough where you have to actually keep in mind
What are you asking me?
Perdón. Continue.
you have to actually pay attention to what burn damage is happening. Otherwise, it won't do enough bit damage to actually get through the strike fast enough.
Right. And if your team, and that brings teamwork into the mix, but also something that really hurts with the timer is that you can't just sit there and camp. You got to really.
Yeah, before I remember we were doing Nightfalls, and the easiest way to get through it.
Somebody said on our YouTube
what
that
was it?
Splatoon 2 is better. Somebody said on our YouTube
Splatoon
live chat,
2 is better. Bye.
Splatoon 2 is better. Bye.
Enrico Felino said that Splatoon 2 is better than Destiny 2.
I can see for certain people.
In some
that it
ways.
is. Yeah, in some ways it's better. But the thing that was really cool is when we played the first Moon Nightfall, we just sat behind a rock and shot the guy for like an hour and how long do we play it? Honestly.
Well, back then we had like the icebreaker, which recharges bullets automatically. So you can just kind of find yourself a spot that you can hurt them, but they can't hurt you, and pick away at the boss very, very
Wasn't
slowly.
it like a 4-hour Nightfall for us? We just sat there and just shot the guy
like
for
at
4
least
hours.
an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes. And this, you have no choice. You have to do it in like 20 minutes. Otherwise, you're not going to finish it in time. So it's a way to get them to not let you camp and to play the game the way it's intended on their part.
Yep.
So,
and that's cool because
I had fun with it. Sohail was frustrated, but I think it's mainly because when we're on the boss, we got kicked.
that was frustrating because we were on the boss. We got him about 3/4 of the way down, 2/4 of the way down, halfway, and once we got there, guess what happens? We all got kicked, and that's not fun because we spent 25 minutes playing this, and now we can't get a save space. There's no save. There's nothing. You got to start all over, and it's not fair for the people that try. But the world isn't fair, so I know it's not. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
But we spent a lot of time trying to fight this guy, and
we didn't get anything for it.
Yeah.
Well, that happens. I had the first time I played, I had to go through it 3 times. So let's move on. There's supposedly a 350 power max right now. It's 240 power to get for recommended Nightfall. Raid Leviathan is announced to have a power requirement of 260 to 280, that's really confusing because the max is 350. So I'm a little confused by that. But
do you think maybe the raid is going to scale?
I think maybe by the end it does go higher power usually, but they said through 280, so that makes me think towards the end it should be 280. I don't know what they're thinking, but what happened before is they had normal difficulty, and then like 2 weeks later hard difficulty, and then hard difficulty is where you get the higher power.
I think that's it, but I think that you can't get beyond 280 until maybe. Have you seen any of this 300 yet?
Supposedly people are.
Yeah, I was saying
maybe people are walking around with 307. I don't know how they're 307, but they're 307.
I'm saying I don't think you can get to the full 350 until we do the raids. My personal belief, but I think that what they're doing is the Nightfall, the raids will actually scale with the levels of the people. Maybe you'll say if you're 307, well, all the characters in that raid will also be 307. It won't be easy. I hope that's what happens.
Well, what happened before is like in the beginning, it's a recommended light. In the middle, maybe it goes a little higher. At the end, it's like even higher than original, like you thought it would be. So like 20 power levels higher. So they're saying that there's going to be a prestige Nightfall, and of course there's going to be a hard version of the raid. But this is the first time they've had a harder version of the Nightfall, so that's interesting. I don't know what to think about that. I guess I'll find out when we actually get to experience it. And there's actually a problem right now with the PS4 Pro. They publicly recognize that people with PS4 Pro have crashing systems.
Mine crashed twice.
But supposedly it's because of HDCP. If you have HDCP turned on, it's not going to have any problems. If you have it turned off, supposedly it crashes every now and then. HDCP makes it so that if you have another, like a splitter or something connected to it, like a recording device, that it kind of makes it harder for it to record. But HDMI 1.4, I think it is already cracked. So I have a HDMI splitter that cracks it. So I leave HDCP on, so it doesn't matter for me. I guess that's why I haven't experienced any crashes, but it kind of sucks that they released it with such a big problem like that.
That sucks.
Yep.
So overall thoughts, let's give our thoughts and ratings. So Hill, what do you think?
First?
So Ellie, okay. You go ahead and go first.
So far, I like the game. It was frustrating at first because I spent too much time trying to create a character. Too many options. And then I think I just tried to fight them all, and I have to realize that it's still a strategic game.
Mm-hmm.
And
you
so
have to
I
take cover
dying.
And stuff sometimes.
Yeah. I was all like, die. This is barely the intro. No. Take this game seriously still. But I like it. I need to continue playing it.
Mm-hmm. You need to get to Nightfall level with us so you can do the raid with us.
No, I don't like raids.
Hey, you helped us with that one raid, the Wrath of the
sucked.
Machine. Probably because the guys are giving you a hard time.
They thought I was a little boy.
It's
okay.
That one random guy didn't think you were a little boy.
What random guy?
The guy we were playing from the internet that we didn't know.
Because maybe he was the only mature person.
I guess so. I knew who you were. Just the other guys didn't. So, what would you rate it if you could at this point? I know we have a lot to experience with the game to kind of look forward in the future, but as it is right now, the experience that we have right now that we can enjoy, what would you rate it?
A 10.
10?
Yeah, because
that's like perfect.
So far, yeah, because like I said, I enjoyed the first Destiny a lot. And so far, this one has
the same and better.
Given me the same feels. It only like a lot more intense. Like I've seen the improvements they put in it so far. So there's only up to go from there.
Oh wow! So Hill, your opinion.
So this game, pretty much follows its original. When it comes to gameplay, it's still the same things. You shoot things in critical points, and you get different. The guns really didn't change other than their looks, really, except for some guns are cooler. There's more grenade launchers and this and that. I think the gameplay is not so different. There's not so much difference in the gameplay. It's the same thing.
Well, the guns are like you can only have one sniper rifles, grenade, rocket launchers. You can only have one type at a time.
Yeah, you can only have one type at a time.
So that's a big change.
Yeah, but I meant is like the guns are not so different. There's hand cannons, there's scout rifles.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, all the same. But the cool thing about the game is they really improved the graphics. It's not like super improved.
Not a huge leap, but
they improved it to the point where it's really cool to it looks a lot better. It's not noticeably if you just played it, but if you look at it in like me, I haven't played in a long time. I was like, wow, this actually looks really good. But if I had to rate it right now, I would give it a 7.5, maybe 8.
Oh,
8.
really?
Let's give it 8.
Wow, that's sweet.
And the reason I give it an 8 is because they needed to make it stop crashing for me. I crashed 2 times. I mean, it's not fun. You
That's
play
not
so much
new for
work.
me.
Yeah, stop crashing. And number 2, give us the damn sparrow in the beginning. It's stupid that you did that.
maybe a little bit sooner. A little bit sooner.
I mean, I have to beat the whole story so I can get half of the story to get a certain level, and then I can get it. That's stupid. It needs to be given out earlier because the walking is cool, but you also are wasting a lot of time doing the walking, and some people don't care enough to look at it. And some people
do.
Well, I think part of why they did is to make you use the fast travel system, but they don't have to do it for that long.
Right. And the fast travel system people use it, but I mean, what's the point? The Sparrow driving was the fun part. People enjoyed it. That's where Sparrow Racing League came from. So it was cool that they tried something interesting, and I think that's a little bit of a mistake. The online play, the Crucible really didn't change. It really doesn't matter what level you are in the Crucible. It just matters on what guns you have. It doesn't have to be a really good gun. It could be a freaking auto rifle.
Except for special modes.
Yeah, special mode, then it matters. But most of the versions that people play, it doesn't matter. But clan systems did come into effect in this. Your clans are actually worth something.
That's a big improvement.
And I ended up maxing out my clan contribution for this week at 5,000
cool that you
points.
can make a clan.
Yeah, at 5,000
Were you able to
points.
do that in the first one?
Yeah, but it really didn't mean anything.
But they actually made the clan mean something. So,
Yeah.
So what
every
does it mean
activity
now?
that you do,
Uh-huh.
it adds to the experience of the clan.
Ooh, like WoW does.
And then once you get to a certain level, you get perks.
Yep, just like WoW. They
And
did
then-
the same thing. That's cool.
But it only lasts for a season, and then, like when next season begins, it'll reset.
That's great because you need a perk because once you get to the max, then it's like, all right, who cares anymore?
Right.
So resetting is a good idea because
Yeah.
it gives you an incentive.
That was a big ad, which gave it extra points for me. If I had to rate Destiny 1, I would give Destiny 1 a 6.5. So this increased a lot for me because they tried to improve it so it made more sense to play with the same people. It made more sense to play with your clan mates because you want to help improve your clan. You don't really want to help improve other people's clans that much. And you want to help each other, so it gives you more incentive to play with the people you like.
Okay.
Well, that's me. 8.
So, my opinion, probably 8 out of 10 too. Pending, well, they fixed almost everything from Destiny 1, but they added some new things too, and those new things need to be refined a bit. Number 1 is the map. I want to see my friends when I look at the map. If they're going to actually make the map represent where you need to go, make it so that I can see where my friends are. If I can't see where my friends are on the map, it makes me really hard. They have to actually name out where they are, and I have no idea. And they're confused because they don't know how to use the new map system, so it can be kind of a problem. And I'm yet to see what the raid has to offer. That's my favorite part. So maybe it'll change to a 9 if the raid is amazing. If the raid's okay, we'll stay at an 8. So that's our opinions on Destiny 2. With that,
It's a solid 9.
next topic.
Wait, you forgot to hear from Tommy.
Tommy doesn't know anything
Based
about
on everything I've seen, it looks like good 8.
Okay,
Yeah,
good
okay,
8.
good.
Next topic.
Guardian down.
Okay, so It, guys. It, Stephen King's It, the 2017 movie adaptation, is breaking box office records. It had a record-breaking opening weekend. Let's see what it did here. Biggest opening weekend in September.
previous record holder was Hotel Transylvania too. Jesus.
No.
Biggest opening fall weekend.
Nice.
Biggest horror movie opening weekend, period. Biggest opening weekend for a Stephen King adaptation.
Well, his movies aren't really good adaptations.
Second biggest opening weekend for an R-rated film. It beat Deadpool, by the way.
Ooh, Tommy, what do you think about that?
I'm not surprised because Deadpool is a very like kind of niche thing, whereas horror is a big genre.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really that surprised. And plus even though it's a really scary, like that clown, like it looks pretty like epically horror. You know what I'm saying? Like something from like you would expect to see from that one show, American Horror Stories.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing how popular that's grown, I'm not surprised. And Stephen King's own popularity, yeah.
Yeah, man.
So it is also the most widely released for an R-rated film.
It's a lot of firsts.
That also helps.
A lot of big things.
A lot of big firsts.
I think The Shining was one of the best of Stephen King,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had which is originally released in the 80s, right? 80s, the movie.
I think so, yeah.
Or
80s,
the
90s.
TV series?
The TV series.
TV series.
TV
in the 80s,
miniseries?
90s, yeah.
Yeah. With, what's his name?
God, I forgot his name. The guy from Rock Horror Picture Show. But I'll find his name.
Oh, I know.
My goodness.
Carrie. No.
No, not Carrie.
I'm looking it up. 1 second. The cast was Tim Curry.
There, see, I was like Curry. That was what I was
Tim
trying to
Curry
think.
was the original It.
I knew that.
And
So
there it is.
this
Tim Curry.
this clown is much more different. The Tim Curry version of the clown was much different than the one that we got in this movie. But I just want to play like a little scene of what he was like, because I thought he was.
I, Georgie, am Pennywise the Dancing Clown. You are Georgie. So now we know each other.
I gotta go.
Go without this.
My phone!
And there's cotton candy and rides and all sorts of surprises down here. And balloons, too. All colors.
Do they float?
Oh, yes. They float, Georgie. They float.
Those lip movement.
When you're down here,
Yeah, he's making tons of crazy faces.
you float too!
No, continue.
No,
So that was Tim Curry's version.
Go
of
to the other
clown.
one.
Which other one?
The one that's in this movie.
I want to see the arm
the
get
scene
teared
that's
off.
kind of close.
Can you please have the arm tear off?
Can you stop?
No.
Tommy's scared.
All right, so
I am shivering.
so
Look at those teeth, dentist.
calm down, guys.
Tommy's already texting
So-
his mom.
In this version of the film, he's a lot less kind of goofy.
more
He's
scary.
a lot less human. There's like very little that seems human about him, right? He seems like very otherworldly in this, right?
Yeah,
Ellie?
he has like an odd head.
Yeah. So that's kind of a very interesting change there. But something I thought was very cool that I wanted to make sure to talk about. The team at Laser Unicorns, who are the people that did Kung Fury, were very excited, and they wanted to recognize their 117 million opening, and congrats them, and that they're happy to have them on their team for Kung Fury 2.
Nice.
The
producers.
The producers, yes.
That's awesome.
And they have a picture of Pennywise with the Kung Fury bandana on, which I think is really cool.
That's
It's-
adorable.
He's got unlimited ammo.
Yeah. Unlimited ammo like Rambo.
Just a joke.
Well, I think that's very cool because I love Kung Fury, so I just wanted to talk about that real quick. I'm excited that the producers are going to be a part of that. Okay, so the first director that was going to be working on this film
Straight up knock this in.
was Cary Funkunga.
Funkunga.
And he was going to be the director and co-writer. And he said, I am in the midst of rewriting a script. We're not working on the second part yet. The script is just about the kids. It's going to be more like Goonies, 1985, meets a horror film. We're definitely honoring the spirit of Stephen King, but the horror has to be modernized to make it relevant. That's my job right now on this pass. I'm working on making the horror more about suspense than visualization of any creatures. I just don't think that's scary. What could be there and that sounds and how it interacts with things is scarier than actual monsters, he says.
Yep.
That Ellie, do you think that is what happened in the final version?
Yeah.
You do? I don't agree with that.
No.
I think they actually showed a lot of monsters in the final version, but
I thought they kind of were trying to. I don't know if this is me being a jerk or something, but did you feel like they're trying to like run off with the Stranger Things?
yes, definitely.
Yes.
And I will get to that in a second.
Okay, that was just me thinking.
So, Funkunga said that he had the perfect guy in mind to play Pennywise, but then on May 25th, 2015, he was dropped out. He was no longer part of the film project in 2015. So 2009, 2015, that's a long time. And it was because he wanted too much money for it. There was a big budget cut, and New Line didn't want him part of it anymore. $30 million is what they were approved for. That's what they were greenlit for. He wanted more, supposedly.
The guy that was acting as Pennywise?
Yeah. Oh, no, the guy that was directing.
Oh, okay.
And co-writing. So with that departure, Stephen King actually said something. He said, the remake of it may be dead or undead, but we'll always love Tim Curry. He's floating around in the sewers in Derry.
That's true.
So he's basically happy with the Tim Curry version. Be happy with what you got, I guess.
Pretty sad about Tim Curry currently, but anyway.
Yeah. On July 16th, 2015, it was announced that Andy Muschietti was in negotiations to direct it. So he had his new vision. Maybe he took a little bit of that. It was indicated that Will Poulter was going to be portray Pennywise, and I don't think that's not who they went with in the final decision.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking to Stranger Things, they did speak to that. Dan Lin spoke to the piece's comparison to Netflix's Stranger Things, describing it as an homage to the 80s movies while remarking, I think a great analogy is actually Stranger Things, and we're seeing it on Netflix right now. It's very much a homage to the 80s movies, whether it's classic Stephen King or even Spielberg. Think about Stand By Me, 1986, as far as bonding amongst kids, but there is really scary element in Pennywise. We clearly had a great dynamic amongst the kids. Really great chemistry, always challenging things with a movie like It. Because you're casting kids who don't have a ton of experience, but ended up being really natural. Each kid, like The Goonies, 1985, or Stand By Me, which came out in 1986, has very specific personality, and they're forming in the Losers Club, obviously. We spent a few months getting the kids to bond, and now they're really going to fight this evil, scary clown. So, very much like Stranger Things. Actually, one of the children is actually one of the kids that was from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And he has a much different personality in this, like very, very vulgar. I loved it. They really took the R rating all the way, as far as the language.
Those kids from Stranger Things are pretty strong.
Yeah,
actors.
they're very good. They actually got a very good team with this too. The best part was the kids. It felt like I was watching movies from when I was young that were, really popular around that time.
I don't know. Like, everyone compares it to Stranger Things, but I just...
Well, Stranger Things is an homage to those old movies. It's
Yeah,
really
I know,
recent.
but,
So
like-
if you're making an homage to the old movies, they're going to think about that because they did that really well.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I guess because I connect Stranger Things less to horror, more to sci-fi. So I just don't see the connection as much.
I don't see the horror aspect. What I'm talking about is the set design, the way it looks, the way the kids look, the way the kids interact. They're kind of, that's what I'm looking at more. And they're not, in the 80s movies, the kids weren't like filthy or dirty or anything. They're like always like happy-go-lucky and calm. And in Stranger Things, it flipped on its head where the kids were like kind of had adult ideas too, and this is also there too.
Well, this is about basically them kind of reaching adulthood.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil. It's not really a spoiler because it doesn't actually happen. It happens in the book. But something that they actually didn't put in this, even though they have an R rating, is one of the characters, the girl character that's friends with all the boys in the group, actually at the end of the part 1 of the book has sex with all the boys.
Oh man, she's a good girl. Just kidding.
What?
And she does that.
Where'd you get that from? Did you read
The
it?
book.
It's in the book.
Did you read it?
Yes.
What age is this? Their kids
No.
are young?
I heard about it. They I don't know, what age are they, Ellie?
I don't know.
They're
Middle school?
they're young kids, enough to be in puberty. The idea of them doing that was they want to get into manhood so that they can't be scared like that anymore or something like that. They want to move on to being men. So that girl slept with each one of them.
Bad girl.
And that would be really hard to adapt to film, right? Just
Right.
sleeping with everybody. So I'm glad they didn't do that. But there's very mature things. I don't want to spoil anything, but like there's a father figure to that girl that had involved sexual connotations, and it was not good, and you would not be able to do that without being an R-rated film. They didn't actually show anything, or it was just alluding to, but it was very well done for it to be, scary to me too. I was like, oh God, don't touch her.
Oh.
Well, it is interesting. It has to be cringy now.
Yeah, to kind of get you on
Yeah.
your edge.
Mhm.
So, Lynn confirmed in February 9th, 2017, that it was going to be an R-rated movie, like we've been discussing, and they really want to take the scary clown thing to the
complete
to
edge.
the limit, and that was why they did it. Muschietti announced that they wanted to go not with their former person, but with Skarsgård. Gord, I think he's a Swedish guy.
Mhm.
Do you know what he's been in? Skarsgård?
No.
He's
Maybe-
been in some things. He's a brother to somebody that's popular, from what I'm trying to recall here. Look it up for me.
Okay, I'll do it while you talk.
So he is the one that is portraying Pennywise now, which is the scary clown in this film. And when they were shooting, which is interesting, they always had that actor keep his distance from the kids' actors, so that they would actually be scared when they saw him and not really know the guy. Get some like real genuine reactions.
Yeah, because he's like a
uneasiness.
Like, oh, I never got to meet this guy. He's not a nice guy.
Yeah. So on July 18, 2016, the production crews actually arrived at Riverdale, Toronto. They began filming, and they did it at the designated building, which was Cranefield House, and they did that until August 19, 2016. So fun fact, Pennywise's gray costume is actually partly inspired by the clothing style of the Renaissance.
His brother.
Well, yeah, it's all just the little lumps. and
Yeah,
stuff.
with all the like stuff going on.
His brother is Alexander Skarsgård, which was Eric Northman in the HBO series True Blood.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
Mhm.
I remember Cherie was talking to us about
Yeah,
that.
sure. He was pretty excited with talking about all the connections.
All his brothers are pretty well known for something in their movies.
Mhm.
He is his brother Gustav Skarsgård was Floki in the History Channel's Viking. So all of them have been in TV shows of some sort. So these Skarsgårds like to act. I'll just say that much.
And they're pretty good too.
You know Floki?
Yep. I really like his character. The lines that he wears in his makeup remind me of the clown.
Just to go back here again, okay. Enrico Falino said that Stranger Things is the best Netflix thing. He also wants us to know he has a PS4 and he doesn't think it's good. He likes Switch more. And that space unicorns traveling the world through the stars, delivering the rainbows all around the world. And then he says, okay, bye again. It's like the 5th time he said, okay, bye.
I think
Can't leave us.
I know that
Hi.
I know that Stranger Things is a Netflix thing, but I think Stranger Things showed that people really want to feel the nostalgia of the 80s now again. So they're bringing back a lot of these 80s type looks and things. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. So back to Pennywise's costume being gray and being inspired by the Renaissance. They changed his character a little bit, like he was around he comes back every 27 years. And interesting fact, Ellie.
That's the anniversary,
27th anniversary
of.
of the TV miniseries.
I know.
Which is kind of
Old
interesting.
news.
I know, but it's cool.
That is. I mean,
It is pretty cool, right?
They thought about it. It's like,
Yeah.
we got to get it out by the 27th.
Exactly.
Here.
But they had a lot of like photos of Pennywise clown kind of being in like really ancient, like the time period that what I'm trying to say here.
Don't be sorry. It's okay. You could stay.
You're talking about like the
please
We
Renaissance.
know you're listening.
Please stay. We like you here. What was it, Eric? What was it?
Enrico.
Enrico. We like you here. Please stay.
The thing is that if you look at it was in a book, right? The kid was looking, and it was like a Renaissance book picture of him.
Well, I don't think it was Renaissance. So I was trying to say it was like founding America kind of photos where everybody's like have the wigs and they're standing in like a courtroom kind of a thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to think of the time period to place that in. Colonial. Yeah, that's the time period I'm trying to think of because it was like the founding of the town that they're in is kind of what it's supposed to be. Okay. It was a founding of the town picture, but it was kind of weird seeing a clown in that time period. But they did have at one point like the little traveling show, and that looked ancient. But how far back do clowns go? Like all the way back to colonial times?
Oh, jesters?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think they go back to colonial times.
Well, I don't know if that type of clown, like Bozo the clown, looking.
So
they did
why
have
is Bozo
jesters, but I don't know.
So
if
he
Bozo.
I could see him updating himself because in this they had him shift shaping. He's like and even in the miniseries he turns into a big spider or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, in this he shapeshifts to all kinds of creatures, but
Yeah, because it's.
Well, we'll look at your comments a little faster, Enrique Enrico. What?
Stop calling him Enrique. No, is he saying that because there's a lag? Because
unicorns can't eat.
There is a lag. Sorry about that delay. So
the unicorns will eat me. What?
Yes, the clown could transform himself into a unicorn and eat you. It's
at
true.
the LA County Fair.
If that's your fear.
By the way, at the LA County Fair, if you want to think about this, they had a unicorn leg for sale. You could eat it.
I have
a unicorn leg.
Leg.
Oh, leg.
It was just a pig leg, but they call it unicorn leg.
Oh,
it looked nasty.
Did it have a horn on it? What made it unicorn?
It was just really small and pig unicorn looking. I don't know.
Okay, well, anyway, one last thing about the development of the thing. Nicholas Brooks was the overall visual effects supervisor, and visual effects company Rodeo FX worked on the most of visual effects on it. I want to say what they've worked on because it's interesting. The last movie they did before it was Valerian.
Oh,
the visual effects company. The visual effects are good in Valerian, and they're good in this, so it's not like it's the weakest part.
I wonder how much money they lost on that Valerian.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. They did the visual effects in that one.
That was good too.
The Legend of Tarzan, Central Intelligence, Warcraft movie. That was really good, right?
Oh my god!
They did that. Gods of Egypt and Deadpool.
Oh,
they did Deadpool, Tommy. What we got?
Yes.
Sega or Nintendo? That's not
a fair question.
It's not.
Enrique wants to know. What do you think is better, Nintendo or Sega?
Enrique, it's Enrico.
Oh, I'm sorry, Enrico. I keep getting your name wrong. Please forgive me. James Christmas, hi. Telling you hi back. PS4 Pro Plus. PS4 Pro was what it's called, I believe. If I'm going to choose between Sega and Nintendo, I really love Sonic. I like that growing up. But as far as longevity of the console overall, I think Nintendo's got them there.
Yeah, I agree.
Sega's always got the strongest place in my heart because I grew up with them, so I have that bias.
Yeah.
But I will recognize that Nintendo has the longest staying power.
I would say Nintendo because I grew up on playing Super Nintendo, and I loved my Mario.
I mean, I grew up watching my brothers playing like Sega games and all that, but Nintendo is my thing.
I'll never forget my dad playing Super Ghouls and Ghosts and beating me in it, and it made me angry because my dad is like 40 years old.
Yeah, all the Sonic games, all of the Sonic
Enrico,
games.
I actually love Sonic Adventure 2, but I actually like Sonic Adventure 1 more.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if you like that one as much.
Well, welcome. Any age is welcome.
Well, yes, but be careful.
I remember being 14. Just kidding.
I do remember.
So let's get back to topic here. So that visual effects company did a lot. So let's get to the actors.
If you want to guess how old I am, 14 years. When I was 14, the World Trade Centers were attacked. Do math.
Oh,
boom.
Oh.
Quick, because this is important.
James Christmas.
This is my game.
Why did they not make Breath of the Wild more like the old Zeldas?
Because we got to move on sometimes.
Well,
and improve upon life.
Nintendo wanted to know what they wanted to do with the next the next Zelda game. So they actually got some young people that wanted to do something new. So they got actually hired on 2 new people, I think. Mm-hmm. So with those 2 new people, they kept saying, well, why do you have to do it this traditional way? Why can't we change it? Why can't you just walk around and jump anywhere? Why do you have to only jump when you go to the ledge of something and then leap off?
Right.
So it grew and grew from there and became very modernized Zelda. So I actually like the changes they did.
Didn't they? So some fun facts about Breath of the Wild. They designed it. They actually made the original.
Enrico, you're only saying that the old Zelda is shit because you are 14.
Calm yourself.
Sorry.
But anyway,
There were really good games back in the day.
do you
gotta
remember?
trust
So
us.
think about it this way.
No, I'll grant you the new Zelda is really good, so I can see your bias, Enrico.
The Breath of the Wild game was actually designed just like the original Zelda, right? And they built around that, and they built it to be 2D. Breath of the Wild, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it had like a guy that went and built it in 2D, and then you fought monsters.
You know,
and
that was a basic concept, yeah.
and then they built around it.
It
And
was
said,
like
okay,
the first Zelda, yeah.
They made it like the first Zelda, and that was really fun to see the development of. But Breath of the Wild itself is a 10 out of 10 game. Ellie agrees, I agree, Will agree.
Original
I mean,
Zelda
I'm a
fans?
big-
Well,
I'm a big Zelda fan.
we're all
and
original Zelda fans.
I wouldn't say they ruined
What
it.
the-
I'm just hoping they don't forget. Yeah, I'm just hoping they don't forget the original Zelda and they continue to make kind of classic Zelda games. Like, it doesn't have to be totally. It does. I mean, we're probably never gonna get an Ocarina of Time. Do you mean the 2D or the 3D ones? That's what I want to know, because the 3D ones, I'm happy with them being like Breath of the Wild, but I still want to get those classical, over the top, looking down Zelda games for the Switch. I think that would be fun, and I think we're gonna get more games like that because we continue to get them on 3DS. So I think they're gonna still come. They're not gonna forget about that. But if you want an Ocarina of Time, I think they're kind of gonna evolve it from here. We're never gonna get an Ocarina of Time again, which is kind of sad, but I really like what they're doing with Breath of the Wild, and I am hoping we get some more great content with the DLC drop number 2, which I already paid for.
I think.
Shit.
Oh gosh.
He's
Prepaid.
ready. He's
Ready to
strapped.
go.
Well, you already paid for it too,
I did
Ellie.
too.
I did?
Damn.
Yeah. When you bought the 1999 expansion
Oh, that
pass, you
was
got
for
both.
both?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was just for
The first one was
Yes.
the first one was the crazy battle thing that you do to get armor pieces. I forget what its name is. Will knows.
Yes, Enrico, the over-the-top 2D ones are older.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Let's talk about scary clowns
See.
again.
Okay, back to the scary clowns. There's a lot. What did you think of the child actors, Ellie? I think that was the strongest.
They were
point
really
of
good.
the
I was
movie.
impressed. Without knowing that one kid was from Stranger Things, I didn't care where he was from Stranger Things. I didn't like Stranger
Well, you
Things.
never. Well, yeah, I guess you didn't like it. He did a
It's
really
like
good job.
I didn't
You
hate
enjoyed him
it,
the
but I
most.
didn't. No, not the most, but he just fit in with the rest of all the kid actors. I was pretty impressed. Like I was saying that it's hard to get good kid actors sometimes.
Yeah.
So these guys were really good.
Yeah, no, they did a good job. Richie, I think, was really cool.
Which one was he?
That was the one that
With the-
his mom always said something was wrong with him, and he thought everything was wrong with him
That
as
kid
a result.
was really talented.
Yeah, I
Like,
thought
to
so
remember
too.
all those
I felt bad for
lines?
him because his mom was just wanted him to actually never go out, never be with his friends because she just wanted him all to herself.
I know it's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
But anyways, they were great.
And then our lead guy was Bill, and that was Jaden Limbayer.
Yeah, he was fun.
He was okay. The girl, I think, did a really good job. That's Beverly Marsh, who was played by Sophia Lillis.
Mm-hmm.
She did a great job.
She did.
I really liked her.
She reminded me of like Seven or whatever her name is.
Yeah, Seven did a great job in Stranger Things.
I mean,
11?
11.
7 of 9 from Star
See,
Trek.
this is how much I
Seven.
cared.
11. You're
Seven.
still
hot with
the
those
face
boobs.
I like.
This is how much I cared about Stranger Things. I forgot what number it was.
I was agreeing with
11's
you. I was like,
character,
oh yeah, it was
or
7.
11 character.
Oh, my
the
goodness.
actress
If you
for
we're
that.
talking about 7-Eleven because you go get your Destiny 2 drink, and it also comes with a drop or a unlock. So
A drink and a drop.
drink and a drop.
Drink and
Maybe
a drop.
Tommy will text
All right,
out some
so
stuff. For us.
we talked.
What?
Did we talk about Ben? That was the redheaded guy who was kind of like not paying attention, right?
What's
Okay.
what? Ben?
That was Ben, the redheaded guy out of the group.
Oh, the outcast.
He was
the
kind of like
new
an
guy?
outcast a little bit. Yeah. No, that was you're thinking the fat boy.
Oh, you don't have to describe him like
Well,
that.
that's what his thing was.
That's how he looked.
I think that guy did a very good job because he wasn't like, oh, pity
They all
me,
did
feel
great.
sorry for me.
Let's just cut it short. They all did awesome. The only kid that was kind of like more hidden in the shadows was that Jewish kid, but that was okay. He said,
What did you
the
say?
Jewish kid.
Oh, that's
Oh,
true.
I think
But each kid had something they feared, and that thing they
You
feared,
liked what he feared.
the clown would make it come true. His thing that he feared was a painting, like a very creepy painting of like a cucumber that's
Like a
like
really
it's like
like,
misformed with a
Ben
face
was
on
the
it.
portly child.
Yeah, Ben.
Okay.
Wait.
Ben was the portly one.
He was?
Yes, he
you
was.
looked it up? Oh, okay. It looks like he has red hair here, so I thought he was a redhead kid, but I guess that was...
He is a redheaded kid, and he's portly.
Oh. I guess never mind. Most important, the villain, Bill Skarsgård. What'd you think of him, Ellie?
the villain.
Yeah, the villain. What was his... what did
The
you think of
clown,
his
you mean?
portrayal
The
of the clown? Yes.
It was all right. I mean, it was clowny. It was.
Did you like him as much as...
Mm-hmm.
You did?
Well, as much as what?
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry.
Well, I honestly didn't even watch the original
You didn't?
series, so I
Oh.
don't know. Based on what I saw from the commercials, like it's totally Tim Curry character,
Curry.
but Curry, sorry. See, I'm like all like caught up in the Curry thing, Curry character, like. But I think of Tim Curry like from those older movies, like even Rocky Horror Picture Show. He's just like really dramatic and stuff. That's the it he portrayed. And this is a different it. This is modern day it. This is like I want to creep you out, creepy clown it. So it was a little different. I didn't mind it. It was fine. That was cool.
Dude,
Whatever.
this scene where he like pops up, that's fucking scary as shit.
Yeah.
If I saw somebody pop up in a goddamn like rain drain, oh, that's it. I'm running.
I think they did
So
a good job giving this a much darker feel, but at the same time, the kids, they
Made
did a
it funny.
great job
It
with
was
the
a
film.
dark comedy. Like I don't know. It was like not as scary as I thought it was gonna be. How the commercials made it to be. It's just rated R because it had more profanity and more adult situations that obviously.
There's also some gore in there, though.
Yeah, not as much as there could have been.
It's true.
It was more. I would more categorize this as a dark comedy than a horror.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, that NSYNC poster. It was an NSYNC, right?
No, it was the New Kids on the
New
Block.
Kids on the Block poster.
New Kids on the Block was 80s, late 80s.
Oh
early
my
90s.
God. New Kids on the Block.
But you think about it this way, I think that gore is
California. That's all.
Southern California.
We're in Southern California.
Where it's hot.
It's too hot right now. Usually it's pretty good.
Where it's super hot, and we have palm trees,
and lots of.
And no clowns.
and we're waiting for the big one.
No killer
So,
clowns.
Or do we? We actually do.
So
Sorry.
let's get to your rating.
We
Ellie.
actually do have killer clowns.
Yeah,
You're
they
right.
they
Ellie.
go what?
What would you rate this movie?
9 out of 10.
I would actually agree with that. 9 out of 10 for me as well. 9 out of 10.
I would watch this movie again because first it's aesthetically pleasing. The story makes sense, and I'm sure it goes with the book. I haven't read the book. It made me want to read the book. The clown was okay, scary-ish, whatever. It's good for what it was. All the actors were great, all of them, and I would watch it again just to observe more. And I liked it. But why that -1 star? Because I was disappointed it wasn't that scary. I was more scared in Annabelle 2 with a simple story than I was with this movie. But it's okay.
I'm
It's
giving
okay.
it a -1 for something besides what you're saying. I thought
What?
it had some pacing issues.
I thought it was fine. I mean, for something that was is an adaptation from a book, I totally saw
It's
it.
true.
So
I know they crammed a lot of stuff in there.
Which I appreciate it, and especially after the movie, when we're talking with Cherie. Had more background in it. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. They're totally like just going with the book, and I appreciate having more of those smaller details and like not having it at all and switching things around. And then therefore, the people who read the book are like, this is dumb. They didn't put this. They didn't put that. They tried, and it all worked.
But isn't it weird that it's hard for them to adapt the book into this movie because this book was almost 1,000 freaking pages.
Yeah.
So you're like, how the hell am I going to adapt this?
The book
they
is
did
also
cut-
in 2 parts.
Yeah, and they are making it looks what they are.
They're saying this is part
implying.
1,
Jesus
which means they could
Christ,
potentially
the
mark part 2. So the reason I would mention the reason I'm taking off a -1 is a pacing issue. I just think that it goes from horror scene, some character building, horror scene, a little bit of character building. There's like too many of those scenes. They do each one very, very well, but I just would have appreciated some more character development. And it's a little weird. They go from all this horror stuff to also meeting up and like nothing happened.
Right. And
That's children.
I think
I know they're all in
thought of
denial.
that.
Did this actually
Yeah.
happen to me? I know that. But
I thought of that too. I'm like, this is so weird. This clown just
Can I
tried
t-
to kill you.
can I
but
tell you what
then-
I would do in this scene if I was that kid?
What?
I would piss on that.
I was about to say the same thing.
You would piss.
That's all you
I
can
would
do.
piss on that clown's face.
and then they'll
Be
eat
like,
your
"Come here,
little
bitch."
pee-pee.
Then I will be. He can have my sausage. Then I made a mistake.
okay, so we both gave it a 9 out of 10. So that's going to be our rating
So
for this
Hill and
film.
Tommy are not
No,
going to rate
no,
it because
yeah,
we are fair.
yeah. But would you guys watch it?
I would watch it closer to Halloween.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Would you even watch it, Tommy?
I might. My sisters watched it actually.
But
And
they're more,
like
they're
I'm
more men
telling
than
you, it's
are.
not that scary as you think it might be.
I know.
I said they're more men than you are.
Yeah, that's what he's
Wow,
saying.
dude, that's like a low blow.
All
God
right,
damn.
so with that, let's get to
I'm about to
listeners.
stab you tonight. Oh.
Because you mentioned stabbing, that means let's get into the listener confessions.
Oh
stab
God.
us
Here we
into
go.
Guardian down.
So, first confession, which I thought was really funny, is from at 12 Elvis Presley. He wants us to know that he is the real Elvis Presley.
I knew he never died. I knew it.
Wow, he sent that in June or yesterday, but you replied to him in June, so he got back to you. Very, very late in the game.
It's very interesting.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing that you are the real Elvis Presley. Please, if you're the real Elvis Presley, sing us a song devoted to Nerd Confessions.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. Yeah, sing
I
us
want
a
to hear
song
it.
and send us the clip, and we'll play
Upload
it.
it to YouTube. Our friend at Dante_Husky from Twitter
You're an interesting
wants
person.
to know, Ellie,
What?
he wants you to have your own sideshow,
No, that's not happening.
the Ellie Show.
I'm too shy.
Is he looking for like a?
Do you think that would be
cam
fun?
show?
No, I wouldn't. I'd just
Are you
be
sure?
talking about like stuff none of you humans can understand.
Oh,
What?
we're talking about.
What
aliens stuff?
about what? Just imagine it's for a show for aliens.
Listen.
Would
You
they
should
like
do a
it?
show where you just look at the camera with a microphone in front of you and just open your mouth and then say it's such a high pitched tone that no one will understand it.
That's so weird. No,
Then how what?
no.
You're just like this, like listen. And then everyone's like, "What is
No,
happening?"
you know what you should
and you're
do?
like, "It's such a high pitched tone. You guys don't."
You should have a
understand."
show based on the weird foods you eat.
Nah, it wouldn't be that weird.
It would be called. It would be called Culinary with Ellie.
Okay.
Okay,
The
answer
nerd version.
Dante, just can
Oh, hold
you-
on. Before we
What?
answer Dante.
No,
I
I'm
want-
talking to him.
Okay, go ahead.
I want you to know what you envision in this Ellie show because I am confused.
Is it a strip show?
No.
Oh, I just had to ask.
I don't
No
think
strip shows.
I don't think that's what it said, but all right.
James Christmas. He wanted us to know that he is the real Santa Claus, and that's his confession.
Oh my god.
It's like all of my childhood heroes are coming back.
I wish
to
I
life.
was Santa Claus.
I thought you were Santa Claus on the weekends.
I didn't believe in Santa Claus. I'm so glad that he actually maybe exists.
So
That-
if you're the real Santa Claus, bring us
Toys.
E3
badges.
And
E3 badges for next year
and Comic Con badges
and Comic Con badges, please.
and BlizzCon.
But Husky
badges.
Dante has more he wants to share with us.
He does?
Yes, he does.
What else did the Husky Dante? Is he Dante from like? Oh yeah, he is.
He's
Dante from the game, right?
Yeah, from Devil May Cry.
You should see his picture. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, you can kind of see it, but it's very small.
I remember playing Devil May Cry 3. That was such a good game.
The one you call Sohill. You sit with a stuffed lion. Are you a furry?
I am not a furry.
No, it says, is he a furry?
I am
Well,
not a
he
furry.
as in
The
son.
only reason this lion is sitting next to me is because one day I felt like I was cold, so this guy kept me warm. That's the only reason. It blocked me from the wind.
And then he killed it
When
and
he
stuffed
kept
it,
you
and
warm-
therefore it's next to
When
him.
he kept you warm, did you touch?
I didn't touch it.
Things?
Nothing happened.
Okay.
This lion is completely a very carefree animal. It has nothing to do
I'll tell you why the lion's there. It's because Saul is such a big fan of the Lion King. He needs Mufasa with him at all times.
Mufasa's dead to me.
Mufasa.
Oh shit!
Mufasa.
So if you would like to send us your confession, you can email us at contact@nerdconfessions.net or send us a tweet to @nerdconfessions with the zeros replacing the O's. Well, that wraps up this week's confession. Join us next week for more discussions and opinions on things that pique our interest. If you have any confessions you would like us to discuss, feel free to send it our way.
Was that out of your power, James Christmas? You give us those badges.
Please, you're Santa Claus. You have no restrictions. Give us those things. As always, we want to thank our listeners and followers for tuning in, supporting us. Share us, like us, review us, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Whatever you want to do, every bit helps us grow.
Or else.
That means you, Santa Claus, please subscribe to us. And don't forget, you can find our previous episodes and bonus content on our website, nerdconfessions.net. So next week, we're going to have a follow-up to our thoughts on the Destiny 2 raid, a quick one. And then Tommy's secret topic. I don't know what it's going to be.
Mystery topic.
So maybe, we'll do Game of Thrones since you guys are on the last season now.
Hey,
I have to watch the last season.
Well, you bet you got a whole week.
Oh my gosh, I have.
You better step it up, girl. You gotta step it up. Game of Thrones next week, everybody. Let's do this.
Great.
Sounds good to me.
That's a bad
Hope you're caught up. You had to watch. How long has it been since the last episode came out?
The season's over, so
I know, but how long?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
2 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks to watch the last episode of season 7. So next week
we're gonna talk about everything up to
Game
the
of
last
Thrones.
season.
Recording on Monday. Wait, recording on Sunday.
Yes.
Episode out on Tuesday still.
Sunday.
So see you guys
Sunday.
then. Bye.
I like how they don't tell us. Okay.
I can't even be here Sunday.
Monday. We'll have it out Tuesday, baby. Love me.
Go away.
Bend the knee.
It's because Sohil's going to be out of town.
Oh.
Always out of town.
Always so hill out of
Freaking
town.
Soil. Always can't make it.
I don't mind it.
Always
I don't mind if you guys wanna do
vacations
it on
and
your own.